Welcome to the show, and here are your hosts, the diabolical Elite Gaming Guru, the illustrious Red Dead Panda, and the Australian stud AshtreyGaming. So let's get this party started. Shit.
Oh,
We're live.
We're live.
That's all I'm saying,
Live,
and that's
live.
Goes live on
oh,
that.
okay.
saved
We're
by
live,
the
so we
fact
can't-
that we're live.
yeah,
I
we
can't
can't
feel
do
the
that
tea.
comment.
That was timing and a
Just
half.
went live as
No.
they dropped some F-bombs.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome everybody to episode 96 of the Gamers Initiative podcast.
Why is it overlaid?
Hello.
It's a reverse 69.
Yeah. Oh, dirty. So, welcome back, everybody. It's good to have you
Oh
on the
my
chat.
god.
We've got FarQ and Grey Monad in the chat. Welcome, boys.
That's more I signed up for.
Grey Monad.
Can we hear
welcome,
more
everyone.
from the girls?
Yeah. So, welcome back to another podcast featuring myself, Elite Gaming Guru, AshtreyGaming, Red Dead Panda, and the what should I say?
Infamous.
I've
Remember
used that one before.
Infamous?
Infamous second son.
Inadequate Jen.
Hey.
Oh,
Jen,
damn.
you know you can go on strike.
Welcome back, Jen. Jen's from Windows Central. She's like Jez, but better in every way. so if you're in the wrong show right now, that's on you. So welcome back, Jen. Yes. But yes. So everyone, how have you been? How what have you been doing? I'm gonna ignore Jen for the moment and go over to Red Dead Panda. Red Dead Panda. What you been playing? What you been doing? You dirty
I mean,
cow,
we have inequality here on the show, clearly. So, Jen, I'm going to, let you go first because Elite's
Oh,
an
but Jen's on this
arsehole.
afternoon. She's like one of the family now.
Yeah. Well, you're not on.
She
You're just a
understands.
guest on the show. Jen's part of the panel. I don't know what you're
Oh.
talking about, Elite.
Actually, we was replacing you. We was actually going to talk
You're
about
on your last
replacing you.
legs, Elite.
Yeah. It's a fine line, Elite. No, I have been, as I was talking before the show, I've been really busy, but I started playing Watchdog Legion 3, like Watch Dogs. Yeah, just started that. It's not too bad, I don't think. I was complaining about the animations in it. Like facial animations reminded me a bit of like how bad Mass Effect Andromeda was. So yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
The NPCs and like some of the characters, like because you can run around and pick anyone in the world. I'm enjoying it, but that was my big step back from that. But I'm playing at 60, loving it for that side. I also installed,
Shame.
hopefully not against my better judgment after listening to people I trust in the community, not you, Elite. I installed Ghostwire Tokyo and I turned that on and I started playing that. I haven't really got far
Interesting.
enough in, and I wasn't
Broad.
so I haven't got any footage, but I will have footage for next week's show of Ghostwire Tokyo. Yeah,
Just use
that's what I've been doing. I've had like one day to game this week, so yeah. What about you, Jen? What have you been playing?
Oh, I have been going through my third playthrough of
Awesome.
Resident Evil Remake. I'm so completely and utterly obsessed with this game.
Number 4?
Resident Evil wasn't something that I was a big fan of
Oh,
beforehand. I didn't
the chat.
realise that it had so much replayability. So I've been going through, doing some achievements, dressing in ridiculous costumes. I made it my mission to get the 2 million pesetas rocket launcher unlimited to just like one-shot every boss. I've just been having an absolute blast with the game. And now I'm on to the Vampire Survivors DLC that came out yesterday.
Yes.
So working my way through that. So I've 100%ed the achievements for the original game and the DLC last year.
Yep.
and now I am trying to get them for this particular map. So I'm having a great time. I'm just trying to kill time until Diablo comes out, to be honest.
Yeah, anything right to kill time till Diablo comes out. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
I've got to play the new DLC. But guys, guess what I got? I got Family Game Pass. I forgot to tell you that, but I got Family Game Pass.
Oh, who are you sharing with?
I am sharing with
Yeah.
my twin and her partner, and I am sussing out a fourth person. Yeah, because it's still it's actually pretty good. Yeah, enjoying it.
No, are they all actually giving you their proportion of the costs? Because
Yes.
this is what concerns me about
Yeah.
Family Game Pass, that I'll be the person that ends up paying for the whole thing for everybody.
No, they're giving me the money for it. I trust the people.
Set up
That
direct
is
debit.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
I trust
that
those
is
people.
absolutely awesome.
I would never share it out to people I don't trust. Yeah,
Like Elite.
yeah, basically. I mean, yeah. Does he even play games? So.
No.
He does for 10 minutes, then gets bored.
You are so
Blasphemy
correct.
going on here.
Just like his sex life.
There's so much blasphemy. Am I muted? Can I come and
Unfortunately not.
Is
You
it
might
my
as well
turn?
be Elite.
Is it your turn?
I've had my hand up
That's
for
what
5 minutes.
that's what he always asks.
Is it my turn yet? That's what she said. Well, that's what he said in this case.
Right, hello, I'm just going to muscle my way in here. Like,
Anyway,
you know,
Ashtray, what have
muscle
you
man.
been
Might
up
as well allow
to?
it. Yeah, Ashtray, I'm really interested to hear what you've been playing. What you've been up to.
When's Elite gonna get here? The show's already started.
Wee.
Anyway.
Put you at my back.
No.
Anyway, Elite, what have you been
No,
up to?
not at all.
What about my front?
Oh no. Go on, Elite.
Anyway.
Before you start crying.
So,
Right, here I
Ashtray.
am. So, I was to say, right, okay, I've been playing. See if you can keep up with me here, Red Dead Panda. I've been playing Ghostwire Tokyo. I put 3 hours into the game. How many hours have you put in?
Oh,
She's
I
put in
put
35
like,
minutes.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. 35.
Here we go.
I went to bed
Okay.
at like 3 in the morning, and I was like, I got to get up and do the podcast. I was like, because I wanted to record gameplay for it, and I was like, oh, I
You
probably should
email
get
me the end of the
sleep.
story.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll email
Right,
you
so-
my bill for Game Pass. Thank you.
Okay. But I was going to say, I did tweet out, as Jen rightfully pointed out. I did tweet out saying, play this game, it's really good. And I was really enjoying it for a good hour, and then 2 hours, and then 3 hours. And I got to about the third hour, and I thought, wow, this is sort of the same game. It's not changing. So,
Short attention span.
yeah. No, I was getting quite bored of it. I was running around doing the missions, and it was just getting very repetitive for me. I'm going to give it a bit of a push and see if anything changes. But so far, I'm enjoying the story, and I like the sort of concept of it all. And it seems quite original and stuff. I like all that kind of stuff, and the style of it. It just is very repetitive for me so far. Also, I think we spoke briefly that I am getting a lot of frame rate drops and stuff like that in the game as well, which is quite irritating. It's almost at some points, it's like the game's almost stuttering massively. Like
Are you
going
sure you
down
don't
to
have a
about
ghost in your console?
15 FPS. Oh, or in
Ghost
the shell.
in the Wire.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes! That was so good, Jen. Thank you.
No, it wasn't.
It was
That was
great.
horrible.
It was great.
You're
Yeah,
on
that's right.
you're playing it on the Series S, aren't you, Elite?
I am. That's a true story.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. He doesn't play games. It's a lie.
Sorry. It's saved onto his hard drive of his Series S.
Yes.
It is.
He looks at it. He's
my
been
God,
looking at it
hard
for
drive.
3 hours.
I've got quite. I'll tell you what. It churns out achievements like no man's business, doesn't it? I think I've got about 15 achievements so far. It just throws achievements at you. Or maybe
No.
I'm just good at the game then. Or maybe I'm just good at it. I'm
No,
gonna
it's
actually have a
definitely
quick-
not that.
Yeah. No.
I'm going to quick count up on my achievements on it.
Anyway, Ashtray,
Yeah,
while he does
well-
that, let's finish the show. So let's go.
No,
Yeah, nice. Let's go. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. See you next week. No, I've been playing Ghostwire Tokyo as well. I'm nearing the end of chapter 3. I kind of get what Elite's saying about it being a little bit repetitive, but just stick to the story. Don't worry about all the side stuff then. Otherwise, you'll just get bogged down in that. Yeah, I've been playing Gems of War just to chill out game, just to relax. And I think it's called 9 Monkeys of Shaolin. That's cool. I loaded that up and played a bit of that. That's a side scroller beat 'em up. Boba gifted that to me, so thanks to him. We're going to play some co-op in that tonight, so that should be pretty fun. And that's me done. Let's go to our first topic.
Oh, the question.
Here we go. You still here?
Nine achievements. I've got 9 achievements, and I got quite quickly. I've got quite a lot of achievements.
Well, unlock your stuff so I can see. Because
Yeah, because that's okay.
it's all locked, man.
Yeah, I lock everything.
That's so that
I don't know why it's
you
Why?
know his lovely fan base that he's created through
Yeah.
trolling people on Twitter. Want to consistently.
need to see it.
They want to see it, and he hides it from them. You know, he's waiting for a big reveal. No one.
The thing is, I've never had it unlocked since I've been playing Conan. I've explained before. The thing is on Conan is if you unlock your account, people can go in and see where you are on the map, and then find out where you are. They can work out where you spend most of your time, and then work out where your base is, and then go and raid you.
First topic.
So
Yeah,
everyone, all the pro
you do
gamers
know.
on MMOs lock their accounts.
You do know you can just lock it down, but you can have it open for your friends list, yeah?
Yeah, you can go through. No, you can go through friends lists on. This is what we do. You can actually go into friends lists. We do this a lot. You can go. Someone can lock their account, but you can go into their friends list, then go through their friends, and then follow their friends, and you can trail it back.
Okay.
So you lock out your friends list, and you have to lock out everything.
Anyway, back to
okay.
back to the show.
Because it also takes screenshots as well.
Did we mention that
I
we
think gamer score is quite an interesting debate that we could probably come to later.
Yeah, we could do gamer score because I've
Yeah.
always argued that gamer
I've
score
got,
means
I've
something.
got
But
quite a few. Yeah, I've got quite a few thoughts on that as well.
have we
let's
also
do gamers. Let's have a day gamer score as a topic then. Everyone in the chat up for gamer score being a topic.
Let's do it.
have we mentioned that
We've got
we're
legal
getting,
in the chat. Legal's in the chat now.
the new legal is joining us in the show as soon as he gets home. He's probably finishing work, so we don't want to rush him. So he'll be joining us as soon as he can. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, let's. I've got the largest gamer score in this panel.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Mostly legit games too, unlike Risk It.
Risk it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so gamer score doesn't mean a hell of a lot these days. However, if they're legitimate games, it means a little bit more. But then people get bogged down in games that don't give you gamer score, like say Fortnite, for example, and spend hours upon hours or hundreds of hours in those games. So it's subjective. Whatever.
My issue
Next.
with gamer score, it doesn't reward you for spending hours in the same game, which it can be a game
Exactly.
that you're very passionate about. I spend 80% of my gaming time in Diablo. I've already 100%ed that game. There's nothing else I can achieve, but I play it anyway. And if I really love a game, I will try and 100% it. But generally, gamer score only really encourages you to play a lot of games. Whether you actually finish those games is, another subject. But this is close to my heart because a friend of mine. Do you guys know Mr. Skeek?
Yep.
She's Australian, yeah.
Yep.
So she runs the Women of Xbox server. So she got attacked. I think it was last year or the year before for having a low gamer score. Which is bang out of order. I don't think you can go and look at someone's gamer score and automatically assume that they're not a gamer.
Was that King Fresh that attacked her? I think that might have
Pardon?
been King Fresh.
I don't know. There was quite a lot of people actually.
Yeah,
There was quite a lot of people. Yeah. And she's obviously doing a hell of a lot for the community, regardless of what games that she's playing. But either way, I only have half the gamer score of some of my friends because I am very passionate about some of the games that I play. And I do play the same games over and over again, and I'll repeat playthroughs. But my gamer score doesn't reflect that. So really, the ideal is that Microsoft eventually come out with some kind of career feature on the dashboard, which will reward you for having a certain amount of hours in a game. That's the best of both worlds, really.
Talking about the dashboard, guys, did you see that update?
What's this?
Yeah.
Oh,
So they've basically
Yeah, it looks like they're reworking it.
basically everyone who's been testing the new version of the dashboard and such have been reverted back to the old version because they've heard all the feedback coming through from the insiders going, we're not happy with the home page, like the main home screen, because the tiles take up too much of
Screen real estate.
It's too much screen real estate. You can't see your background.
Yeah.
And so
Understandable,
they've said that this is they're working on it, and so they've reverted everyone back. Basically, there's still other things that won't be reverted back, like fixes and stuff, but they're reverted everyone back around to the old one while they work on a new version of it. And I'm like, thank God. I'm glad that they're listening.
Interesting.
Yeah, this just came out maybe a few hours ago that they're doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I bought the Stellar controller, which unlocks the dynamic background on the Xbox. It's like a really like spacey Starfield-esque background, really. It's absolutely beautiful, but you can't really see it behind the tiles, so it's pretty pointless, really. But it would be nice to actually view that.
Yeah, so that's their priority now. They're like, we've heard it. And I'm like, thank God. Just very quickly, the blue one says, some gamers play BS games to gain gamer score. Risk it. He said he says he did it because he was just proving that gamer score doesn't matter. And I'm like,
we getting onto
I've curated mine mostly 99% of legit games.
Are we getting onto achievements now then, or are we going onto topics and come back to achievements?
I don't know.
We've
We're
been
doing it
talking
now.
about it.
Where have you
let's
been,
go
Elite?
achievements then.
What show have you been watching? I mean,
Right.
Have you been listening to us? We've been talking
I
about
have
it
been,
for
but I
like-
wasn't
It's
sure.
hard
I
when
wasn't
he's
sure
in
if
a
we were
fishbowl,
going to
though.
go hardcore on achievements.
It's-
So first topic is achievements then. Let's do this. Shit. Right, so yeah, achievements.
while we wait
I've
for
had this
Risk-
debate so many times because people keep saying to me, you hide your achievements. I said, I turned my achievements off firstly because when I'm recording, what was ruining my recordings is that you're playing a game. Whenever you record gameplay, it pops up achievement on your comes up on your screen, and it really ruins the sort of sort of the dynamic thing. So I turned the achievements off firstly on that. Secondly, I play MMOs, and especially Conan. You can, if people are open, their accounts are online, you can track where they are and find out where they live. Then you can get wiped. So everyone that's plays Conan sort of half decently just locks themselves out to everyone, even friends, so you can't track people through friends. Firstly, I don't care about achievements. I do not play games for achievements. And then I play MMOs and PvP games mainly. And I don't, as you all know, I don't play single player games, and because I get bored with 95% of them within a few hours. So, and as I highlighted I've had this debate with Dauntless and a few others who I've sort of proven the point on. As I said, okay, I'll tell you what, name the top 3 single player games you've played and tell me the most time you put into them. They've said things like, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, some other game. I said, okay, how would you put into those? They said, 150 hours. I said, that's brilliant. I put 150 days into Conan Exiles. And I said, how many gamer score did you get from those 3 games? They said, about 2,000. I said, I only got 800 gamer score from the 150 days that I put into that one game. How does that make you more of a gamer than me? It doesn't. It doesn't make you more of a gamer.
It doesn't reward you for being passionate about a certain game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said,
that's the problem I have with it as well.
And that's the highest game I played. And if I go to the next one down, which is probably like Naruto or Ark or something like that, I've still put more time into that game than they had the top 3 games. If I go down to my 3rd game, I've still put more time into that game than they had their top 3 games. So it's no reflection of it. Especially then, if you say you get some people that specifically play games just to boost their achievement scores, which I just can't be bothered to do that. I'm not going to play a game.
No,
just
they're
to boost
doing
my
that to
achievements,
prove
so.
that gamer score doesn't count. But I think if for gamers who legitimately do go ahead and go around and play games specifically to build their gamer score up in a way that shows that they are a legitimate gamer, it counts to them. For those who take the piss on it, it doesn't count clearly. So and then there's those who it's never going to reflect how much of a gamer you are because of that. So I was just trolling Risk It because he talks a big game and then he had a lower gamer score. So I was like, you're not a real gamer because of your gamer score. And then he went out and got he played butterflies and all of that and then got his gamer score up that way and surpassed me. And now he's ridiculously ahead of me. I'm about to hit 100,000 gamer score, so I'm happy about that.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been a bit slow getting there. I should have got there probably at least 8 months ago, but I haven't really. Yeah, I've been a bit slow.
Yeah, fair enough. I've got about 500 hours in AC, Odyssey, and Valhalla each. So, I like my single player games too. But I jump around on all sorts, and 130,000 with a few bitch games in there. I'll admit it. You can see it. You can open up my profile. I don't care. But most of that's legit. And yeah, just from playing different games. But I've spent, I haven't even looked. I've spent quite a lot of time in Fortnite too. So that would have chewed up quite a bit of my time on the Xbox. I haven't played it much lately. I'm kind of over it. But yeah, gamer score used to be a thing for a while, and then when you can get $7 games or even cheaper, and get you can basically get you can get 10,000 gamer score in a day if you buy a couple of games. So it doesn't really mean a hell of a lot these days, but you're still fraudulent.
Yeah, those Telltale games, people were saying they give about 2,000 gamer score, and you could literally just leave it, and it just runs through it, and it just rules you 2,000 gamer score. That's another one. And there's I'm going to point out what other Zinc was saying. He's put 5,000 hours into Gears 5 Horde mode, but I bet you've only got 1,000 gamer score from that at most. So it's not telling on if you're a gamer or how much you game at all. It has no reflection on anything at all. It's just a tick box, if anything. It's just
enjoy achievements. I just find them like an extra part of the game that I'm really enjoying, that I want to complete. So I enjoy them in that sense. But I mean, I'm a mod on a few Discord servers, and if I see people start to like bat around comments like, "Oh, I've checked your Xbox profile and you're not a real gamer," I wield that ban hammer straight away, because I'm not down for that.
No.
I don't care if you've played like 200 hours of Call of Duty or 1 hour of Peppa Pig. We're all gamers.
Exactly, we're all gamers.
Well,
just chill the fuck out.
I always, for me, there are games that I'll play and then I'll go read up on the achievements because I've had so much fun with them that I want to go and try and achieve some of the ridiculous achievements. Hence Fable. Their achievements are fucking fun. Yeah. Honestly, the Henry VIII achievement, get married 5 times, kill 2 of your spouses. Who isn't going to try and be cheeky and go and do that in the game just to get an achievement like that? When they curate the achievements and they actually make you go and do things that you probably wouldn't have done, and they're really fun, and they're a bit of a play on what's happened in real life, and or some of them are meme worthy, and I'm like, yes, those are the achievements I want to go and hunt. Not the go finish this game 3 times on this hard mode, game plus, and I'm like, no, I would like it to be fun
those I don't bother with. If it's too much work, it's not fun, is it? No. It's like, I'm not playing games to work. Yeah. I want to actually escape the world of work. Exactly. But yeah, there's one in Diablo for punching Diablo and it being the final blow to kill him. So no weapons equipped or anything. You just literally need to punch him with your fists. Yeah. And then in Resident Evil recently, there was one for throwing a grenade in one of the boss's mouths. So there's some achievements in Resident Evil I'm never going to get. I'm never going to play that game on professional and do it without healing for the whole playthrough. Yeah. Let's be realistic. But yeah, some of the more fun achievements, I just want to have a go and see if I can get them. Because it's just part of the fun.
Yeah, I agree. Something we used to do for the challenge, because on the PvP ones, like Left 4 Dead, completing it on a hardcore level, and you can't die or go down and stuff like that. Me and my mates used to do that just for the sheer challenge of it, because it was hard. We didn't do it for the achievement at all. We didn't care about getting an achievement or a pat on the head for it. It was just the sheer challenge of the game for it. But yeah, for things like that, when you have to go and collect this many things and do this and do that, and you get achievement, I really can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I really don't care.
Well, I've 100%ed a whole heap of the Lego games. I've 100%ed as much. I think the only one I haven't 100%ed for Fable was probably the first Fable and the Kinect game. Other than that, I've 100%ed the other Fables. I've 100%ed Assassin's Creed 2. There's some of the other Assassin's Creed games I haven't, because it's just the what you have to do to get the achievement is just ridiculous. And I'm like, well, it just takes the fun out of it then. I love ones where you're just playing the game and you just unlock it and you're like, do this amazing thing, and you're like, oh, I'll probably never do that again, but I can't believe I did it by accident.
Yeah. Once it's not fun and it's a chore, I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
fuck
I'm
off.
not playing for this.
I think I've only 100%ed possibly one game, and that could be Naruto. But it's only because it's mainly a fighting game, and I'm good at it. So, and I did it not by trying to get the achievements or aiming for them, just because I just happened to just match get all the achievements just by playing the game so much and doing well in it. So I didn't even try to do 100% it, and I think that might be the only game with 100% it.
Hellblade 1, you can, were there 14 achievements or something? You can get 13 of the achievements just by playing the game. All the way through from start to finish. The 14th achievement is you have to get all the lore stones. And that's it. And now that they've got chapter select, you can go through and grab those ones there. That one was quite easy to do, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Shall we move on to our first topic?
Yeah. We're trying to fill time because I'd like, get legal in. But yeah, let's move on.
Where are you, Lee? He's in the chat. Where are you, Lee? Are you close? I just want a quick shout out to
Jim, Ashtray, and myself
damn
are
it.
just leaving. You can do the podcast by yourself, Elite.
I've done the whole thing with my fingers and everything.
What?
Right.
I'm out.
You're fucked.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Apologize to everyone.
Yeah.
We're going to have to kill you.
Yeah.
So, sorry, doing a shout out to everyone in the chat. So, a quick shout out to AshtreyGaming who's in the chat. Direct Gaming is going to be
You're an
joining us. Sergeant Sentinel Gaming, thank you for joining us. Grey Monad, the blue one. General Spartan 27. Other Zinc, good to have you on board as always.
Rubbish.
Fireboss.
Fireboss. Oh, big time. That's the wife to me shout. Fireboss. Other Zinc. I've said Other Zinc, haven't I? Who
Yes.
else we got? You got Jen in the chat. Have I missed someone? I'm sure
The
I missed some
blue
people.
one.
Oh, we've got Farq's still here. He's probably.
Yeah,
Fuck
he
it up,
left
fuck
after
you,
you
he's probably gone to
started
bed.
talking about your pillow friends.
He
I
goes
just
to
started
bed early.
talking.
Yeah, basically.
He always watches Peppa Pig then goes to bed. Tells me.
Who doesn't? All right.
Right, so-
Late. What is the first topic, sir?
Let's get on to our new first topic. It's I'm going to open it up because I wasn't expecting this as the first topic. It's someone outside on the motorway. What's that noise?
What
Right.
noise?
What noise?
Go. Oh, it stopped there. There was a noise like someone was outside. Right. So our first topic is. Did no one notice that? Right.
No.
Hashtag delete
Patent.
elite. Yes, fuck you. Everyone in the chat, please do that if you
Oh,
agree.
he's there.
Pop it in the chat, guys. Delete elite. We're gonna get it trending.
Oh, I've got a new hashtag for Elliot as well. He was telling me that he was like really street. And I said, you're more
Yeah.
like Sesame Street Elite. Hashtag Sesame
that one.
Street Elite.
Sesame Street elite.
Sesame Street Elite. Yeah.
Man, that's so true.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he was deadly serious and he was like flexing his buttons when he said it. I'm real street.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Elite, you're like Tickle Me Elmo.
Well, he's more like the guy that voiced him.
Yeah. Oh my god, we're so messy today. Let's get
You'll
into
have
a
to look
topic.
that up.
Big
You'll have
Bird
to
was
look that
scary
up.
though. I always thought Big Bird probably. I don't know. I better not say
You
that.
feel like like a
Okay.
big bird.
Let's move on. No, I mean Big Bird was definitely.
Anyway, let's move on. First topic.
Anyway, yeah.
Well,
Right. So
second
where was I?
topic.
Oh, is this? Oh yeah, second topic. So Video Game Chronicles says expert calls Sony childish, unprofessional for calling rivals inferior to patent applications. What this is referring to is a patent that Sony's come out and done, and they've been called childish and unprofessional for calling people inferior. So basically, they've called Xbox and Nintendo inferior to their system, and doing what Sony does, just put down everyone other themselves, so anyone's, which is sort of a flip flop on what Jim was saying prior to that about how they can't cope without this and can't cope without that, and yada yada, but he's now flip flopped on that and saying that everyone's inferior to them and they're special and I don't know. Well, you guys not saying this. It's a very.
Do you want me to read the quote? So basically from there, so it says that Sony's patent says the controller could be used on a personal computer, a home entertainment system, e.g. PlayStation 2 or Sony PlayStation 3 or Sony PlayStation 4, a portable gaming device, Sony PSP or Sony Vita, so this is probably an older patent, or a home entertainment system of a different, albeit inferior, manufacturer. So throwing the gauntlet. Why they had to write inferior, who knows? Yeah. Did anyone read
arrogance?
Yeah.
Why do they think they're superior to Nintendo when it comes to gaming, sort of handheld gaming or anything? I don't know why.
That's really all it boils down to. Apparently, they've been doing this for decades.
Yeah, this
now.
They found other patents
it's not new.
like this. Yeah.
It's just come to light though, or it's come to news, which is kind of funny because they call the other Xbox, Nintendo inferior, but then look at their boss that's leading them now, Jim Ryan. Look at him on his knees crying, begging for Call of Duty.
He just wants to stop.
It's kind of funny if you ask me, but hey, look, it's childish either way. Inferior. It just shows their arrogance. Sony's always been an arrogant company. Maybe that'll change going forward after all of this stuff, but yeah, they've always been like that. They've always thought themselves as the best in the business and all that kind of thing. So, but to put that in there is kind of childish.
I agree.
What else can you say about it? I mean, that's
what I mean. That's
PlayStation.
It's a weird. It's a hard topic because it's not.
It's a great topic because it's a first topic technically, and it doesn't have to be long-winded. So
yeah, it's just Jim, what are you doing, Jim? You've already ruined any chances you have now, and that having bigged up the CMA and then when the CMA turned on you, you've started to now shoot shit on them as well and call them shit and stuff like that. You just shit on everyone, and it's hilarious now that he's calling everyone inferior. It's very narcissistic.
It's not him specifically
really
writing these patents.
It's what they've put in the patent, and it's patents from even before he was came to be the head of PlayStation. But obviously, because he's the head of PlayStation, it kind of ends up being.
It's embedded into Sony. It's embedded into Sony to always think they're superior to everyone. Considering the background they came from, when I've done that video from that guy that worked for Cyanosis that says they didn't have a clue when they came to the game market. They had no idea about gaming, and they had to teach them gaming. And it took them a couple of years to teach them how to get into the whole market and how games work and the whole thing. They've gone from that, knowing nothing, to now thinking they're superior on everyone and they're just great at everything. And they think it's just down to their talent. They don't take into any account that they just bought studios, bought publishers, kept exclusives off thingy, paid for reviews, just throwing money at everything. And they've not taken any of that into account, and now it's the point where they think they're just superior to everyone, and everyone should now bow to them regardless, and there should be no competition. They've won. The end. Just stop it. Stop competing. We've already won. What about the future of gaming? No, just don't worry about it. We've already won. It ended. We just stop. Everyone stop.
It's just really unusual and inflammatory language to be using in legal documentation, isn't it? Really?
Like that's it. Yeah, there's no need.
Talking about your competitors like they're inferior. I mean, the relationship between Xbox and Nintendo has always been really amicable and like over friendly, if anything, because Xbox accept that Nintendo are targeting a completely different audience to them. Yeah. Yeah. And Sony need to accept this as well. It's not a case of everybody needs to play on Sony, that's it, which seems to be their attitude thus far. Nintendo are a different audience and a much younger audience, if that. Yeah. So to use that kind of language just seems, completely childish and not called for.
And if they were so inferior, why did you suddenly go with, let's put HD Rumble in your DualSense controller, Because they put HD Rumble in their joysticks, or Joy-Cons. Sorry.
And isn't the Switch absolutely dominating in the console market anyway?
I think it's going to be bigger than PS2.
Yeah, anyone under the age of 18 probably plays the Switch and no other console, so I don't know where they're coming from with that kind of language.
Well, I know that with patents you have to kind of prove why you need to do a patent. Like you have to prove that this is like a superior type product, and this is why you want to patent it so other people don't take it away. But you can do that
Don't need to shit on your
without
competitors in the
saying
process.
like we think that the other products that the other guys are doing is inferior. Yeah, so it's conduct, right? And I feel like that's what we're running into issues with at the moment is the conduct of some of what Sony's been doing. They've been caught out doing a lot of it, and you know they've been deflecting it, but they've been complaining that like Xbox is going to do the same thing to them, and that's kind of interesting when you're looking at it going, that's what like not criminals, just anyone does. If they're doing it, they are worried that someone else is going to do it to them too, because they think that way. Like if you don't think that way, you're not going to be thinking, I think this person's going to try and pull one over on me, because you don't think that way. But PlayStation pulls one over on everyone else, and they're like, what happens if someone does it back to us? And so yeah, it's just conduct, unbecoming. I mean, this is how they've done it, and it's anti-competitive crap.
Red, I also find it interesting that they've had like 4 different revisions of the PS5 in 2 years. And Xbox hasn't, and they use the word inferior. I just find that quite amusing myself. All right, I reckon that's. If does anyone else have anything else to say on that particular topic? I don't think so.
No.
It's a good one just to warm up to everything.
And to those just out there, if we saw patent documents of Microsoft, Xbox saying shit like that about their competitors, would be calling it out as well as childish. Because it is childish. Anyone doing that is just dumb.
Xbox would never do that. I don't think Xbox or Nintendo would ever do that. No, I don't think they'd
Don't say never, though. You can't never.
I will say never.
Yeah. All right, you've heard that.
Don't tell me what to say,
Take
you.
receipts, guys. Take receipts.
You're not the boss of me. Yeah. I honestly don't think Xbox will ever call anyone inferior, and I don't think Nintendo do. Because, 1, I don't think they're in that mindset to do that. And 2, I think they've got better legal people to tell them not to say stupid shit that's going to come back on them. I think, to be honest. And Sony are just idiots. And they just keep digging holes themselves, especially now, especially with Jim, the bollocks he comes out with CMA, just keeps digging holes. Before we get on to the next topic, I'd just like to announce that Jen's gone to the toilet, and that
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that. You're terrible.
She's having a poo. And can you drop some likes? Red Wolf just announced we've only got 1 like.
That's because no one likes you, Elite. One person likes you.
We're a team. We're a group. Me, Jen, and Ashtray.
If you like the rest of the panel, including the guests, hit that like button. You know, if you do it for us, not for Elite. Yeah.
The more likes we have,
the less likely we are to have Elite back next week.
Each like you add deletes one of Dauntless's accounts.
Don't give me a time.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Right. Are we going to wait for Jen to finish her poo, or are we going to carry on?
Honestly.
Seriously, dude.
Does that mean we're waiting, or?
Anyway.
Fucking hell. No, we're going to go. We're going to push forward.
I'm not going to wait. Right, okay. So next topic number 2. Poo.
Speaking of pushing forward, Jen's back.
Pushing forward.
No,
I
you
see
did
what you
not.
did there. He fucking did, Jen. He did.
Let me know. You deserve that after what you posted in the group. Right, so.
Fair. It's fine.
So, Phil Spencer messaged me directly the other day and said,
Please stop. Or I'll call the police.
He said, here's some dick pics. No, he said,
oh, fuck's sake.
Elite.
Sorry.
He said, Elite. He said, Elite. This is. I'm going to read what he said to me directly. He said, Elite, word up. We're taking a big stick. He said, we're taking a big.
Is that your Sesame Street slang coming out again, Elite?
It is. So
Sesame Street Elite.
That's how Phil talks to me directly. He's good. He's a geezer. He said, Elite, word up. We're taking a big step in our mission, brother. Mission to expand. Oh shit! I've scrolled by mistake.
Oh my god.
We're taking a big step, brother, in our mission to expand the joy and community of gaming to all players. Word. Bringing Xbox Game Pass PC to 40 new countries today.
It's church these days.
Church these days.
Yeah. I say
Uh,
church.
church today? Oh,
As in
shit.
preach. Yeah.
I didn't-
Come
I
on,
didn't
man.
say-
Keep up with the lingo
I'm
words
just
like
going. I'm just
early 2000s.
I'll let Phil know. I don't want it. Let me just type that. Phil, it's church, bruv.
Bruv.
From all us on the team, all around the world, fam, welcome to Xbox. So yeah, so he DM'd me directly the other day, that message, and then he messaged out on Twitter. So yeah, Game Pass is going to reach 40 new countries today. I don't think it means today. I think it meant, when did this go out? Yesterday.
It wasn't today.
But anyway, so Game Pass is going to reach 40 new countries. What do you guys think about that? I
Game
think
Pass
it's good.
for PC, by the way, just to add a little more context.
Game Pass for PC. Yeah, it's great. Great news.
And next topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of bored already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks to really discuss this is
Can-
there. Of course, it's
can-
good news. You know,
No,
more value
this is
to
Jen.
more people. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Go
go.
on, Jen. Go on. You preach, Jen. Go. Bruv.
I'm preaching to the converted. I'm sure we're all Game Pass subscribers here. But I do have friends that I play with in other countries that haven't had the experience of Game Pass and that value. So I'm really happy that they're getting to, reap the benefits of it now. So yeah, I'm surprised it took Xbox this long, in all honesty. But I'm glad that they're doing it now.
I thought it was already at least this many countries. I did not realise that, a lot of these countries did not have PC Game Pass.
That was my reply to Phil when
Yeah.
he DM'd me personally directly. I said, brah, why didn't you send this? Why wasn't this already in 40 countries, my guy? Yeah,
Oh my god. You're just trying to throw anything in there
yeah,
to make it
anything that
sound.
comes on, anything that comes, and try to make it sound as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
are you getting that? Yeah, anything? Yeah, why is this not? This is what I posted earlier to you earlier on Twitter, wasn't it, Ashtray? Why are we not already in 40 countries? What they need to be pushing this years ago. I don't know why we're just keeping up with this now. So that's my only sort of shake
It's
my
just through
fist.
the licensing deals in each country, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
what-
But I
think
mean, they
it's
would already
for-
sell the consoles and the games over
Yeah.
there, so I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
But I think
It is interesting. It could
Get
be
a
server
Ashtray.
related, maybe.
yeah, that's
I'm
true.
thinking it might be server related
Cloud
potentially,
gaming wasn't
because
available in New Zealand until
Exactly.
they put the servers here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it could have a lot to do with that. See, these are the questions, though, that people that have access to the likes of Phil, like you, Elite, should be asking, right? You're not
Yeah.
asking the right questions. It's great.
Ah.
It's great to have this expanding.
Yeah, I mean,
40
now,
new
Elite.
countries. A lot of them are in Europe and the Middle East, which is great. But then but hey, Phil, so why such a slow rollout? Talk us through the process, Phil. Why is it happening now? Why didn't it happen, all at once? And that tells me, I think, a server-related thing. But, I don't know. And to ask these questions to get more of an insight on why it's a rollout like this. And then follow up with that saying, oh, okay, this is awesome. Positive news, getting it to more countries. So what's the next batch of countries? What are we looking at? And sort of see, because, I mean, look, we've said this before, I'll say it again. They've had PCs, they've had Windows PCs in, all these countries forever. I don't see that being like they're not in that area. It's got to be something else, and I'd like to know what that is.
Pyro.
And like you said, Red, cloud could have quite a bit to do with that as well, which again brings you back to being server related.
Well, Pyro made a good point saying it might be something like you can probably expect that with them putting PC Game Pass there, that Ultimate's going there too, which will include cloud gaming. So that'll give people options there. And then you can expect that they will extend Family Game Pass out to those countries as well. So it sounds like they're really just building a lot of infrastructure so that when they're here for the long run, it's going to be available and it's going to be really easy to expand the Xbox market in those countries, and part of that is just opening the door and what they're doing in that space and how they've chosen to change their market strategy around how they're going to deliver games to us and such. So I think it's a good stepping stone. I feel like I agree they need more transparency in that space around why it's taken so long, because people will be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, or they'll be, or then you'll get the ones who are just gonna troll Xbox no matter what they say. Sorry, clearing my throat. Apologies, guys. Yeah, I think this is great news.
We've all been there.
But did you see that in Southeast Asia, they had a oh my god, they had ID at Xbox go to like Southeast Asia and like bring in or fly in all these indie developers there to bring that program to those countries in Southeast Asia. I think that's great. There's going to be more indie devs coming in and putting their games in through the ID at Xbox option, because they'll be able to get that support. I'm tired. Can you tell? I can barely talk, apparently. They're going to be able to get an audience, especially if they release those games on Game Pass. Yeah, and it's just going to expose them to a lot more gamers than they would have initially been able to release their game to without ID at Xbox. So yeah, great news.
Yeah, what was that game that came out a couple of years ago? It was only sort of really a beta that was made by one guy from like South Korea or something. That had the guns and the sword. Can't think of the
Bright
name
Memory
of it right
Infinite.
now. That's the one, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, that's an indie game technically. I think he might have dropped it on PC first. So we're seeing a lot of that stuff come through, and to open it up to Asia is because it's huge, right? It's massive. There's a lot of people that live there, so there's going to be a lot of talent there as well. And then I think in time they'll probably open it up to other areas like Europe if it's not there, and Africa will be one of them on the cards in the future as well.
They're really wanting to hit a global market and support everyone that way, and that includes getting the devs in those places to be putting games on Xbox, and then it's easier to start selling Xboxes in those countries. It's easier to start encouraging people to use Game Pass, because we're like, hey, we're supporting the developers in your country. Do you want to support those guys too? This is where you can support them. Play on our platform. Yeah.
Yeah, I think ID at Xbox indie developers is something that they need to remain focused on.
Yep. Drives innovation.
Always. It's always yeah, exactly. It's always going to be there. It gets people into the ecosystem and want to stay there. It's always a positive when we see new stuff coming out of ID at Xbox, and it's a great initiative to have. They just need to advertise it a little bit more, just to just let people remind people that it's there more than anything.
Tunic was made by one dev, and that was an ID and Xbox game, wasn't it? Was it? No, it wasn't. I have no idea, but I feel like it came in through that program, because that got put onto Game Pass, and that was a really fun game, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Not sure about that one.
Cuphead that would have been through the ID at Xbox, yeah.
I think Tinykin might have been the same, maybe. Not sure, not 100% sure, but that should be maybe a little badge that they get as well to sort of denote that it's an ID at Xbox game, if they don't already have that. I can't say I've noticed it. Jen, do you have anything on that you'd like to add?
No.
Very good. At least you're honest. If we asked Elite, we'd get some roundabout story, and it would go for about 5 minutes, and then be some cringy moments there.
And then he'll say no.
He'd say no.
Yeah.
I was actually replied to someone in the chat.
Absolutely not.
We've got, okay, I don't want to butcher this name, but I am Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. I'm going to go with I am Yvonne. Never been to London, but after playing Watch Dogs 3, I want to go. The sites look amazing. Can anyone here from the UK confirm the accuracy of Ubisoft mapping of the city? Yeah, it's actually very good. I think that they do the mapping for all their games pretty well. Ubisoft for all the games. Who's the other company that does really good mapping as well? GTA, I think, does it quite well, doesn't it? Those. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it's very good. But I wouldn't base London on Watch Dogs though. It's not that. But yeah, I would suggest coming to London. It's a fantastic city. It's better than Birmingham. But it's a fantastic.
Excuse me.
Birmingham. You don't want to go Birmingham.
Microsoft Flight Simulator is very exact to the location if you want to
Yeah,
fly over
Microsoft
it.
Flight Sim. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another place.
that.
That's another game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
it's a
yeah,
good city.
London's very expensive, but very worth it. There's a lot to
Yeah.
do there.
I'm gonna upset some people here, Americans in the group here. But yeah, having been to London and New York now. London's sort of like a New York City, but bigger. It's much bigger than New York City.
What?
In terms of what's going on. No, I mean not the state. I mean in the sort of New York's really centered around Times Square and everything happens there and stuff.
Bigger than Manhattan? Are you having a laugh?
Anyway.
Yeah, London. What's going on in London is far bigger than what's going on. If you actually walk around Manhattan and the stuff that's going on, a lot of it is just not really much going on there.
Oh, colonialism.
So anyone from New York, throw Elite under the bus, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really wild. You have a really good night, and it's a very good night, London. That's all I can say. That doesn't really affect the game though.
So
I told you it was some random crap that was going to come out.
the new legal has just turned on his computer, so he'll be joining us shortly. So yeah, shout out to him.
Join us.
One of us.
Grey Manor says, anyone going to get the Ubisoft Plus sub?
Aren't we
Is anyone
talking
gonna
about
get
that shortly? Isn't that another topic? Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, stop speeding ahead.
Dude.
Jesus.
Elite.
Look at the
Do
shit.
you even
Oh,
podcast?
man. Okay.
Do you even podcast, bro?
Yeah. Do you? Can you even lift?
Well, he can lift a beer to his face. That's about it. Yeah, so Gray, we're going to be talking about that soon.
Yeah.
What topic is that? What number is that?
It's the imaginary topics that aren't in the Discord.
Number
Oh yeah,
five.
exactly.
Calling
It's in there,
number
it's in there.
5.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah.
Number 5.
Oh,
He
okay.
can't
You
count
left your mic
those, so
on.
you shouldn't have told him it was the
Right,
fifth one
number
down.
2.
He can't count.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the number 5 looks like.
Yeah.
He has to count on his
It
fingers.
looks
and
like
figure-
an S
Yeah.
with straight bits.
If it has 5 sausages
Looks like a
that
wheelchair.
look like my fingers.
Yeah.
It's messy today, guys. Sorry. It's
Why is
very
there
messy
6?
today.
Anyway. Next topic.
6 is the big one, the big boy.
That killed me, Ashtray. Elite's got polydactyl.
Right, we're going on to topic number. I have to agree to fucking cookies. You can't just open anything these days without having to agree to cookies. Bullshit. That's topic number 7.
We're just trying to keep Elite humble, guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want me to read it, Elite?
Please,
You can
please,
do.
Ashtray.
Topic number 3. I've got it
All
open,
right.
but you can read it if you want. It's
All
rumor.
right, well,
Rumor.
Just read
Xbox-
something for the love of God.
yeah, I know, right? Xbox Games Showcase 2023 runtime revealed by Microsoft leaker. So there was a guy on Twitter, Walking Cat, who put a tweet out a few days ago saying Xbox Showcase and Starfield Direct equals June 11, 2023 at 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. AM? That'd be PM. But anyway. So he
Or is
reckons
it?
it's going to run for 2 hours,
Yeah.
which is pretty standard though, right?
Yep.
It's give or take about
The
right.
main
So
show or that and
I
the
think it's about
Starfield
90
Direct?
minutes will be the main show, and then the last half hour will be the Starfield one, I reckon.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Something like that. Perfect.
Would you now?
Yes. Well, have a look at their show last year. Elite. Can you look that up real quick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bear with me,
Or
everyone.
is that difficult for you to do?
I can look it up if everyone's just silent for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think from memory, the Xbox Bethesda showcase last time was about 2 hours all up as well. So it's not really that big a stretch to believe the same sort of thing will happen anyway. And yeah, I think Bethesda will show a few things, but mainly focus on Starfield. They'd be crazy not to. Anyway, Jen, your thoughts on this? Do you think this is a stretch?
No, it's pretty average. This isn't really news. I mean, if they were going to do a 6-hour show, I'd watch it. And
True.
yeah, and Bethesda concentrating on Starfield, yeah, of course they will be. maybe some Elder Scrolls, for the like 3 people that are interested. But, yeah.
They're not showing that again. No, the DLC for that comes out before the showcase, right? Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's in June sometime.
Maybe. I really don't keep up to date with Elder Scrolls stuff because I could not be less interested in Elder Scrolls Online. I love the Elder Scrolls universe, but the online game, no, not for me at all. Even though there is a hell of a lot of content. If you love MMOs, then yeah, I'm sure it's a great game.
All right,
anyway,
Jen, here's a question for you. Here's a question
Go on.
for you, Jen. With Diablo 4 launching on the 6th of June, so basically a week before, do you think that, and if the acquisition goes through in time, do you think that they might announce it coming to Game Pass? Or do you think not?
No, I don't think so. Not in that time frame. I think eventually it will come to Game Pass, but maybe after at least the first DLC announcement. Especially with a bunch of us having fucking pre-ordered the game already and spent a lot of money on it. I don't think it's going to happen at all. And it doesn't need to. I think the game will sell regardless of whether it's in Game Pass or not. I want it to go to Game Pass because I want more of my friends and family to be able to play it and not have to commit to that huge initial price. So I'm hoping it does, but I don't think it's going to be for at least 6 months, in my opinion.
Yep, no, that sounds pretty fair. It would be a bit of a pain if people have pre-ordered like yourself and then it dropped a week later in Game Pass.
Yeah, even if it was in Game Pass now and they announced it, I would still buy the damn game because I love Diablo. It is my ride or die game, and I want to give them money. I want to give them all my money. But I just don't think it makes business sense to put it in Game Pass that soon. So I just think, especially with them having recently come out and said that every 3 months there's got to be new story content, I just think they're gonna save this Game Pass announcement until they've got something huge to announce for the game after release.
I think next year. I think probably mid next year at the next E3 showcase is when they're gonna probably maybe talk about it.
Yeah, maybe when they want to ignite even more interest in the game, if they could even have any more interest at this point, because everybody's gagging for it. But yeah, maybe when that's died down a bit, and that Red, it's an elite job.
It's actually an Ashtray job.
But yeah. But yeah, maybe when they want to ignite the flame again, then they'll drop it into Game Pass and be like, boom, here it is, here's the DLC, go for it. But yeah, it doesn't make sense for me to launch it that soon in Game Pass.
Yeah. I'm excited for this showcase though. I'm super excited. I just really can't wait to see, because you know that there should be at least one or two, maybe at least one game that we don't know about should hopefully be showcasing. Hopefully that's ready at a point where it will release sometimes in the next 18 months. I give 18 months because that seems to be what the case is at the moment. They tell us about a game and then it's more like 18 months before we see it.
I really hope they've scrapped that 12 months marketing nonsense, because they really just back themselves into a corner. Yeah.
But 2 hours, I think that's sufficient. You're going to get the main content that you really want, and as long as they, I feel like, deliver it sort of like that Bethesda Direct, where it isn't a lot of talking, it's just content, and it's done in such a good way. I think it's going to be fire, and then we're going to see Starfield at the end of it, which will be nice. Fingers crossed, 60 FPS mode, which we'll be getting to later, guys.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, do you think, so we all agree, going to run for about 2 hours, which makes sense. What are we going to see from Xbox? Are we going to see anything? Are they going to announce anything that's actually going to drop on time?
I want to see Avowed.
What are we going to see? Fable?
I think we're going to see Fable. Yeah.
We need to see something from Fable. Come on.
I definitely think we will. Especially when they give us that really ambiguous trailer beforehand. I think they're going to have more to show this time.
I really want to see what's coming for Fable, because Fable is my ride or die Xbox stuff. That's why I got into Xbox in the first place. I loved the first game and have played all of them.
Indeed. New Legal has joined us.
Hey.
So,
Hi everybody, how y'all doing?
We've got him.
Oh shit.
we're
Got
good.
him on
How
the
are
show.
you?
New legal.
I'm fine.
Oh,
I see a new person in here. I just want to say hello to her. Hello, Jen.
Hello.
Hi, fancy seeing you here. Do you come here often?
Every now and then when they invite me, but I've been knowing Elite Gaming Guru for years, so
Well, I mean, you're
he's an old mate. He's an old mate of mine.
you're
We're
here
both
more than
straight.
Elitas anyway, legal. So you know.
And Red Dead Panda, she's an old comrade gamer with me back in the days. We used to get on that mixer.
Yeah.
A lot of us did, and
Mixer,
Ashtray
now
Gaming.
those were the days.
Oh
Yeah, we
yeah,
mixed it
yeah,
up.
they were.
Mhm.
Hi everybody, how y'all doing out here? I'm here to be nice. Listen, don't
You're
even
always
start
nice.
with me today. I'm not in the mood. Look, I'm selling my Xbox Series X because REDFALL is 30 frames per second. I'm buying a PlayStation 5, and I want you guys to be mad because
Did
I'm
you know
doing that.
Redfall on the PlayStation 5 is at 60 FPS?
I know, I heard. I'm
Yeah.
so frustrated.
I know, right?
I'm
I've
so
already set
frustrated.
fire to
I'm
my
going, you know
Xbox
what?
in
You know what, man? I'm even going to the greater extent, y'all. I'm buying me a PC.
Just skip PlayStation, go straight to PC. All
I'm
games
just gonna
go
get a
to
PC.
PC. Yep.
And I'm gonna subscribe to Game Pass PC. And I want y'all mad.
Yeah, we'll all be offended by that.
I had the chance to catch your podcast after the fact yesterday, man. Redfall 4K 30 FPS release, and I didn't get a chance to listen to it all the way through. I'll listen to it later on today, but I usually agree with a lot of what you said, if not all of it, man. And it's just good to see that you put it out there. It's always straight up, no bullshit, no flip flopping, and it's a breath of fresh air.
Listen, you know how I feel about you guys, right? It's tough, man. You think that one was tough? Wait till tonight, because this is just getting silly now, man. It's getting real silly out here, and this is where we're at. It's sad, but it's just sad out here. It's pathetic, and you would think that people that have major platforms would actually take this stuff serious. That's the sad part about it all. It's like, I don't know where people think that, where they get their definitions from, because they pick and choose where they want to aim it at. If we're going to be real, then we be real. We call everything out, we explain it, but don't be half stepping out here. It's like when the industry and the community really doesn't, they don't like when you get too serious, too real out here. They like that silly stuff. They like it because the minute you do address something that really needs to be addressed, you don't get no support out here. You don't get no support out here, man. Everybody wants to be silly,
Yep, for sure, man, for sure.
You missed our
have you-
first couple of topics, legal. So did you want to add anything to them about Game Pass coming to, or Game Pass for PC coming to or coming to 40 new countries, or what
I
else
think
were our
it's
topics?
absolutely phenomenal because people got to understand Xbox line of business is moved on a different scale, right? Xbox isn't a hardware company. I don't know why people think that Xbox should do their company like PlayStation. PlayStation comes from a company named Sony, which is a electronic company. So it builds hardware stuff. At one point in time, Sony was one of the world's leaders in electronic hardware. Microsoft, world leader in software. They move Xbox like software. They don't move it like hardware. So more people around the world they know have PCs. Just PCs in general, people. Listen, you don't need a big, powerful gaming PC to play Xbox games. The PC that I'm talking to you from right now is not a gaming PC. But guess what? I can play my Xbox on it. You know why? Because it's not a console anymore. It's multiple things. It's a console, it's your monitor, it's your phone, it's your laptop. It's wherever your device can play the games at, that you subscribe to the service. It's a service. You're bringing up Game Pass. Everybody knows Game Pass is a service. So it's easier for Microsoft to get Xbox in areas that don't market consoles.
Yeah.
I don't know why people think everybody in the world markets consoles. They don't. So Microsoft has to use their infrastructures, which is massive servers, right? Cloud massive servers with the Azure, and they've implemented Xbox into that. So now they can go global. They don't have to use hardware to do that. Now they're going to use the cloud format, right, to get to market it.
Mm.
Then when you see that people are having interest for Xbox in areas that normally didn't have interest for Xbox, now you send your consoles there. Why would anybody send consoles to markets and nobody wants it or nobody's going to use it or play it? That's silly. It's just a good strategic way of getting into the real big market of gaming, which is mobile. Everybody knows that mobile is the biggest. So in order to, and they're not abandoning consoles, right? They're not abandoning PCs, but they're trying to expand. They know that we're not enough. I keep saying it because Jim Ryan, that's one thing Jim Ryan was right about. When he told the PlayStation community, you guys are not enough. All these PlayStation fans around the world, those day one buyers, Sony's not worrying about you. They know you're crazy about the brand. They know you're going to go buy it. But they want me to buy their son. They want me to buy that PlayStation 5. They're trying to get legal to buy it because you know why? They haven't succeeded at that yet. In order to expand, they got to go beyond you guys.
And legal. That's why I've been saying PlayStation have been holding back the industry for decades because they haven't expanded outside the console space. And they tried to prevent that from happening then. They tried to prevent it from happening.
You know what, Ashtray? You didn't say that, right? I didn't say that, or anybody in the panel and in the chat room said that. Jim Ryan himself said that. It came out of the horse's mouth. He said it. He said exactly that. He says it's frustrating, right? There's an article. He called it frustrating because he wants the PlayStation games in more people's hands and so more people can get the experience. So what's that saying? That's saying what they got right now isn't enough. That's what that's saying.
Yep. 10% of the user base buying a first-party game isn't enough.
That's right. And guess what? You know what? We gotta love the CMA. You know what? This whole court thing, the ABK acquisition, isn't it such a blessing? Because we've learned so much. And in this short period of time that I have, at 10 years of this, right? Because these gaming articles are flunkies. They're not serious. So they don't tell us, like Ashtray was saying, 35% of PlayStation fans play Xbox games on their PlayStation. 35%. That's almost 50%. The rest play FIFA. That's what it said. That's what the report. FIFA, Madden.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Call of Duty is their biggest. Then you got Jim Ryan coming out openly admitting. If Microsoft, this is basically what Jim Ryan said in kindergarten language. If Microsoft treats us like we treat them, we're doomed.
Yep.
That's it. If they decide to keep Call of Duty off our platform, we're done.
Yeah.
So I want to ask everybody out here, right, when we get on Twitter or other social networks where you see PlayStation fans and we do our little console wars, we do all our jabs and jokes and, slight punches, left hooks. You don't really have to do that anymore. I know it's boring, right? But you don't have to do that anymore. Because all you need to know is, damn, Xbox got PlayStation in the palm of his hands. So does Xbox act silly like Sony? We don't know yet. But all we do know right now is when this ABK deal go through, if Microsoft says, you know what, get y'all. We try to make deals with you. You didn't want it. We got you down on paper saying you didn't even want the deal anyway. You just didn't want us to get the deal done. All this is on documented papers.
They've been caught
You
in
see
4K.
that? You see what's happening, right, guys? You see Phil Spencer making these 10-year deals. We're not talking 2 years. We're not talking timed exclusive for half a year, 2 years, or 1 year. We're not even talking 3-5 years. He's locking down these deals for 10 years. 10 years.
Yep.
If y'all
More
don't
than
see this
enough.
if you don't see the suffocation plan happening, you will.
Yeah. Well, our next topic covers that, actually. Should we move on to the next topic?
Yes.
Yep, sure.
So the next topic is Bosch. What number are we at? We're at number.
Oh, come on.
Come on,
Come on,
number
let's
4.
get some
Prepare
organisation.
yourself.
what do you think about this,
before you
Legal?
speak.
Topic number 4. So, PlayStation Plus axes Marvel Spider-Man, one of its biggest games. So they're going to take Spider-Man off PS Plus. It's okay, everyone. Hold up. I know you're all going to complain, saying, "Oh, they're removing Spider-Man, the game we capped so hard for, and is the biggest seller." Yada yada. They think of what they're going to replace it with. Well, they're going to replace it with Doom Eternal, Dishonored, and Ghostwire Tokyo eventually, which are all Xbox first party games.
I told you.
That's what I find hilarious. Yep. So Marvel Spider-Man leaves PS Plus and replace them with third party games. They've replaced them with first party Xbox games. So how's that going to do then when you're playing PS Plus and eventually your games are going to say Xbox Studios pop up? Can you imagine that? You're paying to a subscription service on the PlayStation and all your games are Xbox Studio games.
Well, they're trying to increase
Why
it
is
from
MLB not in there?
35% to like 40% of gamers playing Xbox games on PlayStation.
They are.
Yeah. Why is MLB not in there? Why not put an MLB in there? That's what I find weird. Why they're not shoved that in?
Oh, it's not on there, isn't it? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, see, you got to think about it. MLB is what made by it's made by Sony developers, right? Santa Monica, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They
No,
got that.
no.
They got that deal from MLB.
No, not
Not
Santa
Sony
Monica.
Santa
no.
Monica. I can't remember.
It's not
the
Santa
name.
Monica. Who
No.
is it?
No.
It is.
They literally make God of War Santa Monica.
Oh yeah, you're
No.
right. Not Santa Monica.
It's,
Sony Studios. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just Sony Studios, ain't it?
I can't remember the exact name, but yeah, it's a Sony studio.
San Diego
Controversy on
Studios.
this, so
Diego
not
Yeah,
the
San Diego. Yeah, it's something right. The studio by Sony from San Diego Studios. Right directly out of that studio. Right, they make it, but they got the exclusive. They got the exclusive deal with MLB to actually make the game. So the game comes out. What up, J Rock? The game comes out on on Xbox, but Sony. Well, you know, Sony had to make the game on Xbox Series X and S first. I think that was last year, right? We got the game on Game Pass last year for the first time. Mark me
I
if I'm
think it was
wrong,
the year
right?
before, wasn't
Or was
it?
it?
I think it was the year
Or
before.
was it was it 2 years? Wasn't it 2021?
Yeah, we're 2023 now.
Right. When they did that, they had to at least get the game created on Xbox. Now, mind you, Sony did that. They did that with the dev kit. Now it's just it's there. So all they got to do now is just put it on there. But MLB was the one, once again, right? Because this is business. They wanted to expand. How are you going to get more people on this game? Plus, it was shrinking on PlayStation. More and more fans were not playing the game. So it something had to happen. A business is going to be a business.
Expand your audience.
Sony still makes the game, but it's kind of weird, you know. It's like we know the fact that it's not on PlayStation Plus, right, shows you that they have to get their money from third-party games to fund their games. It's just that's just as simple as it can be shown right there. While on the other hand, Microsoft doesn't care. They're just like, hey, look, we got the money. So we pay. We created Game Pass. It took a lot of money to pay. It took a lot of money to create Game Pass because it took a lot of money to lose money at first for Game Pass. Microsoft took a lot of L's when you talk about in the money bag department over Game Pass. But now they done made their money back. They're just floating, and Game Pass keeps rising up. I mean, the plan is working. So I mean, it's there's no other service ever in gaming history that operates like this because it takes a lot of money.
And
So now
Sony
you
couldn't
got the
take that
indies.
hit either,
Yeah,
Lethal.
you got the indie developers praising it now, because now for the first time, their games can actually get played, get shown, get represented. When before they didn't have a platform to do that.
Mm.
Absolutely. I think for the Xbox version, MLB Advanced Media publish it for the Xbox as well. So Sony Interactive don't publish it for the Xbox version, but it's still made by San Diego Studios.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go for that one. But yeah, I mean it's huge. There's a reason why they expanded it, right? They needed that audience that they weren't getting from PlayStation.
But this comes.
PlayStation,
Sorry.
as a whole, don't play it that much. They really don't. I don't care what anyone says.
Its peak hit 2 million sales on PlayStation. Its peak. So, and that's how long has it been on PlayStation? So they needed to expand more than 2 million. They realised
2
that
million
it just
out of how
wasn't
many
going away.
gamers that play on PlayStation?
Exactly. Well, yeah, at the maximum PlayStation 4s, there was 120 million of them. So, and still was only at its peak hitting 2 million. 120 million. So
it's not even 2%. Like that's crazy.
And the only reason that grew because they got mad because it went over on Xbox, so they wanted to try to prove something.
Yeah.
Because it ain't never hit 2 million. Look, check the numbers. It ain't hit 2 million in years.
The numbers now are saying it's hitting 5 million, and that's across Xbox and PlayStation.
That's right.
Xbox,
That's right.
People playing on Game Pass is matching people playing on PlayStation.
Right.
I mean,
There you go. And,
right.
and PC as well. You got PC in there as well now, so
That's right.
it won't be going back now.
No.
But in regards to Spider-Man, I haven't seen any fallout from it, and I guess it might have been slightly overshadowed by Redfall, but I didn't see any. Did you guys see any fallout from this coming off the service?
nah, because
No.
Unlike what we
'Cause
saw for Quantum
they've been
Break.
playing
No, nothing.
Spider-Man. Look, Spider-Man came out on PlayStation, right? Then it came out on PlayStation Pro. And it got remastered. And then Miles Morales came out. I think they're pretty done with Spider-Man. They're not mad. They don't like I told you, they're going to wear Peter Parker out, man.
yeah,
Yep.
What does that
The
mean
thing
for
is,
Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man and Quantum Break are not like for like. So Spider-Man's licensed from Marvel.
yeah.
Sony don't own it, whereas Quantum Break is completely owned by Remedy Entertainment, who Microsoft own. So that is why Microsoft have got a lot more heat than
Well,
Spider-Man.
they own
Even
Microsoft
platform.
owns the IP. Remedy
The
did
IP,
the
but not-
game, but
But not Remedy. Yeah.
Remedy.
Yeah, but also Quantum Break is a lot more of a complex game in that it also had a TV show
Yeah, the
attached to it,
licensing
which
for that.
used certain
That's true.
amount of music.
Yeah, and all the
There was a
actors.
lot-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more licensing wise that's involved in keeping that game on Game Pass, which
They'd
they
have
are
to pay
completely
royalties
doing.
every
Yeah,
because Mr.
every
Lance,
time those actors would be on the game, they'd have to pay royalties to them. So
right, and plus Mr. Lance passed away.
yeah.
So you
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
change up the licensing. You can't keep going with that. That's illegal.
Yeah.
So they have to take it down and reconfigure the situation and then bring it back. That's just the way things are.
But I also think,
And even though Spider-Man was taken off, the Game of the Year edition was still available. So it's just not a like-for-like situation that it was being made out to be on social media. So I will give props to Sony here that it wasn't as big of a deal as people were making out. And that is why Quantum Break got a lot more heat.
yeah, and I mean, also
Yeah.
you look at it thinking like they would probably want sales instead. They would probably want to make money off the title, so
Yes.
they wouldn't fight for the licensing to keep it on there for as long as like Microsoft
Right.
would, because they're still not all in on subscription services, whereas Microsoft is all in on that front. So very different the way
Yes.
they're approaching their online services. Yeah.
You can't be all in on subscription services and then have games that are meant to be exclusive to your platform disappearing from that service. It's a bad look all
It
round.
would be like if
So
Netflix
I
got
can
rid of their.
completely understand why.
I'm
there was
going
a
to
lot of
disagree.
controversy.
Well, I'm going to disagree in the sense that I think games are okay to leave Game Pass because we already knew from day one that games will be in and out of Game Pass. And I think the mistake they slipped up on it, Xbox made a massive mistake that they didn't foresee the license ending or changes, and they didn't foresee that happening, so they could rechange it, have it all ready so it didn't end. It just carried straight through. But as Legal said, it could be to do with that guy passing away. That could have changed things massively, which you can't predict. So maybe that
There you
changed
go.
the contract on the fly,
Bingo.
and that's why it's like
You
Bush.
should own
changed
Quantum
contract.
Break anyway because it's an amazing and underrated game. So if you don't own
Yeah,
it,
well, there's that.
fuck you.
Yeah, but that's an opinion though.
My
Shit.
opinion.
That is an opinion, but when you look at the stats factually, the game didn't sell well and it rated low. So you can't
Yeah,
say.
because people are morons.
Well, no,
That's
yeah,
why it was an amazing game. It was ahead of its time. Don't
It
get me
was.
started on Quantum Break.
Yeah.
I loved Quantum
But,
Break.
but that's because when it released, it was at the highlight of when the media, as they are now, were just attacking Xbox at everything. Things like anything Xbox did. Xbox was bringing out more games, better games than PlayStation, and all at the release of the PlayStation 4, couldn't compete. It didn't have the games to compete with Xbox. So 1080p made you a better gamer. That's all it was about. Resolution and stuff like that. And third-party content. That's what it was about. First party didn't matter. Remember, they even dismissed indie games. Remember, they was getting this for just having no indies on PlayStation. It was all about
Ashtray.
third-party content. And
That's what's
the
so
problem.
great, man. That's what's so great about listening to you, man, because you understand the themes, the theme and the context of the year. People
Thank you,
seem to
mate.
take, right. They seem to take current issues and they try to blend it into past and what ends up not happening, what ends up not being true is the fact that the narrative. Understand, we live by narratives in this gaming world now. And so you can't bring something today and put it in 2017 and say, yeah, well, because it's this today, and then they had it. No, you got to understand what was going on, what was the topic then, what was what was the situation, what people were talking about. Because listen, let's be honest. Right now, you can get Quantum Break for $5, $3 at some places, and $6.99 at GameStop. So like, we don't have to sit up here and act like Quantum Break not being on Game Pass is that's what I love about social media. It's laughable. It's all fake and nobody's acting real on social media. The real ones are not going to be heard. So you're going to listen to a bunch of people who just like to bring up stuff for their emotional feelings. They just want to keep stuff going. But if you really do your research, you'll understand. That's the sad part about it. Once you do your research, you'll start to realize how whack it is on social media out here. You got people claiming, right? You got people claiming all kinds of stuff. Anybody can get on social media, right, and start texting away.
Well,
Right, let's not use social media as the truest form, Twitter as the truest form of you want to get your honesty from gamers. Come on,
yeah.
you want to get your honesty from gamers. The guy in your party chat, right? The guy or the girl in your party chat that you're gaming with, or that you're talking to, physically talking to, and you know that person's actually playing a game. That's where you get your trust information from, not social media.
Legal, you can come and stay in my caravan in Australia any day, mate.
Feel you, bro. Like, we got this, bro.
When did you get a caravan in Australia?
They can't fade us, Ashtray.
I just want to cover what J Rock's saying. He said,
That's elite, by the way.
No, and people were upset that it was coming to PC like Crack Gamer. Yes, 100%. Remember the outrage that this is when loads of people like Crack Gamer and MGB and loads of them switch over to PlayStation.
Who?
Because yeah, exactly. Because they started putting their games on PC. Now look at us. Now look at PlayStation, where all the games go on PC now, and they seem to be okay with it now. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not too. It's just
That's
the way
true,
of gaming now. So yeah, it's all just nuts. But yeah. Spider-Man. I think personally, I think Spider-Man leaving PlayStation is a bigger hit than Quantum Break leaving PlayStation, because Quantum Break leaving Xbox, though they made a stupid mistake, it should have been foreplanned. It could be down to the past of that guy, which could have put a spanner in the works. But if not, they should have foreplanned that. So that's probably an error. But they will be putting it back. But PlayStation, Spider-Man leaving PlayStation Plus is a choice. They've made that choice to take a first-party game out, and I think when you're losing first-party games out of your sort of your service things, your service, your own service. It's meant to be competing with Game Pass.
It's not a surprise that this will disappear.
And but what makes it worse is then you're replacing that with Xbox studio games.
Why is that
So-
Right. And on worse than that, if the game is coming back to Game Pass, people. It's
Well,
not
if you
like
compete
it's
with Game
gone and
Pass-
it's not coming back.
If you compete with Game Pass, if you compete with Revival Service, it's like you've got Disney and Netflix. Say, I don't think Netflix will remove its own Netflix original game series to replace them with Disney Plus series, would it?
Yeah,
It
but
wouldn't do that.
their contracts when they create those Netflix original contracts will include in perpetuity of how long it'll be in there. Whereas Quantum Break came out prior to Game Pass, so I guess the contracts weren't necessarily set up for that. And then there are changes, like unforeseen things that happen when it comes to licensing. It's hard. It's hard to kind of look at these because we're just speculating at this point. I mean, at least Microsoft has come and said it was licensing reasons. We're speculating why Spider-Man is leaving. I do think it is, I guess, a big deal in the sense of the fact of console warring arguments in that respect. They turned around and said, oh, it's a first party game, it should stay, da-da-da-da-da. But that was also based on what Microsoft was saying themselves, like first party games are going to stay in Game Pass. Have we heard PlayStation make the same comments? Have they ever said that all their first party games are going to stay in their PS Plus? I mean, yeah. No, that's why they're going to be removing the collection. I also just think it's evidence of why you shouldn't subscribe to that service, because what are you really getting out of that as a value for new people coming onto the service who might have never played a PlayStation before, and they like the Spider-Man IP, so I still feel like it is an L for PlayStation in that respect. As it's not a
That's the selling point of Game Pass, isn't it?
Yeah.
You buy an Xbox, you get Game Pass, and you can play all their first party games in it.
Mhm.
You buy a PlayStation, you get PS Plus. You can't play all the first party games in it. that's the difference.
Yeah,
That's
so I
the
think
options,
in
isn't
that
it?
respect, yes, it's definitely an L, but I also think, like, Jen's right, everyone's played this game who want to play it at this point.
Yeah. So there. Is Ashtray still there?
Nah, he fell
Yeah, man,
asleep
I'm
after
here.
you were
Oh,
talking.
you mean-
I did too, sorry.
Oh. He's got back to his caravan. Right, so
Savage.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, man.
topic number
Go back to
3.
your sewing
Sorry.
room, Elite, where you make your pillows for your OnlyFans.
I'm in my sewing room right now. Naked.
It's been a messy... You were listening before you got
I need
here,
to-
Legal. It's
I
been
need
messy
to make Jen a
today.
pillow. Jen, I'll make you a pillow and send you it. It's like a life-size pillow of me.
Jen has a
Elite
restraining
still
order
got
against you,
slippers on,
Elite. I
y'all.
don't know why you would send her anything.
It's got a massive.
He
nose
still got
on
his
it.
slippers on, Jen.
I have actually got slippers on. All right.
I wanted to
What's wrong
respond,
with
but I had
slippers?
a mouthful of cinnamon bun.
Of what one?
So I-
Of
Just
what
eat-
bun?
Someone's buns.
Yeah, she's got some cinnamon buns.
Stephen bun.
How many
Interesting.
buns, Jen?
Right.
Just imagining it's your buns,
Full of
Elite.
buns. Oh, yeah, you dirty birdie.
Okay, I'm out. I'm leaving.
Topic number 3.
What's the next topic?
Please, anything.
Just make one up. Word the topic. Right, Ubisoft. Anyone heard of Ubisoft? They're new to the industry.
No, but Ubisoft.
These
Ubisoft.
new
Oh
up and comers.
Ubisoft. So they're gonna apparently put their games, or they're doing a subscription service to their games, which is gonna cost $18,000, no, $18 sort of dollars. $18.
It's a full-time wage.
$24.99 a month in New Zealand. $24.99 a month.
$14.99 here. It's way too much.
That's why no one lives there except you.
Yeah. The problem with Ubisoft games is once you've played one, you've played them all. At this
Yeah.
point, they
That's right,
desperately
that's right.
need to reinvigorate their games. And I absolutely love Assassin's Creed. I
Same.
loved Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Assassin's Creed, but by the time Valhalla come out, I was completely fatigued by it. Especially having come out of like Elden Ring and things like that, where you're not spoon fed every single quest that you need to do. So yeah, it's just not worth the money for me personally. I think if you really enjoy Ubisoft games, go for it. But yeah, otherwise, I think there's way better games in Game Pass already. I don't see the appeal of this extra cost. What do you guys think?
It's not for me. I'm not subscribing. Sorry. Sadly, Ubisoft, I think you had the right idea, but I think like EA outplayed you in this respect when they made that agreement with Xbox to get EA Play into Game Pass Ultimate. Like, you want engagement, that's what should have happened. I think that's the biggest L in that respect. Like, the Ubisoft game service costs more than Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for one person, right? You get less games with it. So it's not a value for money. Whoever did the pricing for this is honestly hard look at your life, please. But I know they're struggling, which is probably why the price is sitting at what it's sitting at. But I'm just disappointed that
Was it not in Game Pass like EA?
Sorry?
That's a thing. It should just been rolled into Game Pass.
Game Pass, yeah. Why is it not in Game
but
Pass like EA? Yeah.
Well, look, even EA didn't start off in Game Pass. It was separate, right?
Yeah, but it was never that
Then
price.
it got
from the
rolled in.
start.
And it failed.
Well,
and
this
therefore-
is true.
And EA's bigger than Ubisoft, let's be honest. More people would pay for EA than they would pay for Ubisoft.
It's day and date,
Look,
right? Is it day and date?
Well,
for
that's the
new
thing.
games?
Exactly, Red. So that's the plus. That's
I
the
guess there's
upside to
that.
it, right? So you can spend $23.95 wherever you live. It'll cost whatever it costs. You pay it for the month, and you can get, say, the newest Assassin's Creed Mirage for basically, a quarter of the price if you bought it outright. So there is that upside to the service. Most of the games in there we've all played, we all own most likely. So it is a bit silly that way, but the upside is the new games.
Yeah, I guess
You get them day and date for that price.
it's still hard.
Don't be saying day and date. J-Rock's in here.
Well, it even says Ubisoft franchises play new releases on day one
I think
and enjoy
Sir.
10% off.
That's beautiful, ain't it?
well,
It's
that
kinda
might
like the
be
EA access
that might
deal,
be
isn't
worth it.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
not
right.
Game Pass, yeah.
So
I see this failing. I see it failing.
I see them doing a deal and putting it into Game Pass.
I see exactly the same. I see they're following the same route
least-
as EA, but thinking they can do better.
Or
and
at
it won't,
least
and they're
doing
going
a
Game Pass.
variation for Game Pass, similar to how EA does it. Like 6 months later, the new games come into the Game Pass, like through this Ubisoft edition that we've added. That would be like, I think, smarter, and I think a lot of people would prefer that. Because we're living in an economy at the moment where the world is just screwed itself cost-wise, and people I like the fact that they've got a cheaper offering for people wanting to access their brand new titles through this method, but we're also living at subscription fatigue right now. Everyone's subscribed to everything. People are like,
Absolutely.
so it's like I'm now looking at going, do I want to subscribe to another service, or do I want to start cancelling some of my other subscription services to go after this one? Like, I'm not getting rid of Game Pass anytime soon, but I'm talking like all my other streaming ones, like for TV shows and stuff. Like, it is getting to a point where it's just subscription service fatigue. Yeah.
I
If
think
they'd
if
have
I
priced it a bit lower, they could have then got more people in who would then have been sucked in by their myriad of like microtransactions that they've got in their games.
Yeah.
And that would have been a money maker. But with this, because the initial buy-in is so much, they're not going to get as many customers as they could have done.
Yeah. I feel like they priced it too high. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts, Legal?
Oh.
I don't know. I think I don't know.
Wait and see.
I was looking at more of a bundle.
Mm.
I was looking more of a bundle. I thought it was going to be more of a bundle deal, but since Ubisoft has already been out, I think they're selling it as a separate, service plan, which I don't mind. They're basically using Xbox as another way to sell their games.
It's a launching platform for it. Yeah.
Just using the platform. So I don't. it's kind of different. The way I should look at it is kind of different from how I would look at Game Pass and how they're bundling with Game Pass. Because with Game Pass, I mean, even when it's on other platforms, it's already set. They set theirs at 15. I mean, we're good with Game Pass. I don't know. I don't think people with Game Pass Ultimate is really gonna go out there and pay $15 for these games anyway. Now, when these new games hit, okay, subscribe to Ubisoft, $15. Hey, you get to play their very brand new game for $15. That's where I see the deal at. Other than that, I'm not tripping off of it because I'm not getting it because I pretty much have all them games. A lot of those games I already played.
I think they should have at least, they've brought out Family Game Pass, right? Put it on that. Give an incentive for people to subscribe to the 5 account option and boost your user engagement. I just literally got Game Pass for Family to share that out. And
what do you think about it?
I really like it.
You got it, don't you? So what? So how much was it? Was it the $21.99 or $24.99?
No, it's $40 in New Zealand. That's just how it works. So it's the price of 2 ultimate subscriptions by itself, basically. But you get 5 accounts.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the price of it here. And so, like when you start sharing it with other people, it works out. But I feel like a really good incentive would have been to go, hey, let's make a deal. We've got Family Game Pass here, 5 accounts. Let's go and put Ubisoft in this one, because then you've got even bigger incentive for people who have like big families in their house. I
agree.
To save more money and get more engagement in that space and pull people off gold. Get people off gold and get people onto this for their families. That would be a really smart move. And Xbox, you should do it. Just saying.
Yeah. The next question is, though, guys, is what's going to happen to all the Ubisoft games that are currently sitting in Game Pass? You've got Rainbow Six Siege, you've got Far Cry 5, Watch Dogs 2, you got the Assassin's Creed games, Odyssey, Valhalla, Origins. What are they going to take them out now?
No. I don't know if you spotted, but leaving soon, it says under leaving soon's Rainbow Siege. What's the one they recently?
Yeah, Extraction should have been gone a long time ago.
It's gone. It's already in the leaving soon. It's already in there.
I think.
So they've already started taking games out.
I don't necessarily think. I think it's going to be very similar to what it currently is now, where you've only got a few Ubisoft titles in there. They're gonna continue on with their contracts that they already have in place with Game Pass, with Xbox, in that space, and honor those. But I think part of getting people onto it is maybe putting like 1 or 2 Ubisoft games in Game Pass, and then heavily marketing that you could get all these other games through that on Ubisoft instead. Yeah, so you've got a taste for our games. How about you get a look at our whole catalogue on this subscription service? Yeah, and you get day and date. I think that's going to be what they're going to do. Yeah, I hope that's the case. That's what they should
I was
do.
going to say. I was just going to say.
No one cares.
Oh, I was going to say. I was going to say if Jim was going to save his career at any point, this would be the time. If he was going to, he could have spent nowhere near as much cash to have bought Ubisoft, but he could have thrown him a load of cash to have put Ubisoft day and date in PS Plus. That's what I'd done if I was him. When this was going around, I'd have thrown money at Ubisoft, said, look, there's Trump Game Pass. They've already got EA in there. Let's have Ubisoft day and date. Here's a load of money. Would you have done that? Wouldn't that be a clever move from PlayStation to have done that?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Didn't Ubisoft Plus get announced that it was going to go to PlayStation?
I think eventually.
And it still hasn't happened.
No.
What was going to PlayStation eventually?
Ubisoft Plus was announced like a year ago that it was going to end up.
Yeah.
That still hasn't happened yet.
Right. But
Probably
it's coming. Yeah, it's going to hit PlayStation too. Yeah.
Probably because it blew through. Probably Jim said, no. I'm not spending money. No. I'll spend all money on third party and...
It's competition.
And flights to Brussels.
Flights to Brussels and paying the media.
If they want to show that they're happy with healthy competition, put a competing subscription service on your platform.
Yeah, I would have done that if I was him.
EA
day one. Oh,
is
that's what I've been thinking about.
minor in
I'd have been-
comparison to what they're doing and what they're delivering with EA Play in comparison to what Ubisoft is going to be delivering on their version. Yeah.
Really? I think EA is bigger than Ubisoft.
No, I mean like around what they're offering. Like they aren't offering day
right.
and date. They're offering 6 months
Nah,
down the
yeah.
line. You'll get to play.
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
games,
yeah.
That came
Yeah.
out brand new 6
Whereas
months ago.
Ubisoft day and date, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it should have done. PlayStation, Jim should have went straight to him and said, it is a fiver. Give us
Give us the
Ubisoft
change back
games.
too.
Yeah, just to compete with Game Pass, just go against them. Let's do it. That's what he should be doing, but he's too busy focused on the CMA and telling them they're wrong now and everyone's wrong. Everyone's wrong. We're the superior. Everyone's inferior to us. He's too busy doing that. He's an idiot. So he's just fucking up. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next topic. Who's ready for the next topic?
Jen, have we heard
But
from
before
Jen?
you, yeah.
You're not gonna be nice to Jen, man?
Yeah.
She went off for another toilet break. She's back.
Well, Ashtray, did
Jen,
you want
you
to add
there?
anything?
No,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Jen. I think it's.
No, I'm okay. I'm happy to move
Finished.
on to the next topic.
I gotta take up for Jen, man. We're the guest here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Look
it.
at Jen talk. Yeah, she's great.
It's 3 against 2.
Yeah.
It's 3 against 2.
I'm much more
Say
polite,
some words for legal. He loves your voice. He loves your accent.
This guy.
Sure.
Look, stop, man. Hey, yo, he's trying to be funny, Red. He's trying to be funny. See, that belongs to Red Dead Panda, man. Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been told, Elite. Sit in your corner.
Yeah,
and be
Elite.
quiet.
Guru knows my dirty secrets, man. Stop revealing my
Oh
dirty secrets.
shit.
I know.
Oh, shit.
My mind is.
Ashtray, you were going to say something before we moved on to the next topic. What were you going to add?
Well-
yeah.
Elite, stop singing. Now, before we go on to the next topic, let's do a quick reset. You guys are listening to the Gamers Initiative podcast with myself, AshtreyGaming, Elite Gaming Guru, Red Dead Panda with our special guests, Jen from Windows Central and the new Legal.
Yeah.
And
What
big
is the
shout
next
to-
topic?
I was going to big shout out to the chat. We've got Pyro, we've got Sappho, we've got Grey Monad, we've got J Rock. Fuck you. We've got Direct Gaming in the chat. Andrew Skit or the Biscuit in the chat.
I
Still
apologise in
thank you,
advance,
everyone, because
guys. Yeah. If you need counselling after this, let me know.
She doesn't care. Is this our final topic? Number 6. Number 6. So, I don't know if you
This
guys
is the big one, isn't it, really?
That's what she said.
Well, do we want to add
Yeah.
another topic in
They all said
beforehand,
to
like
me.
the Rise
No one's ever
tweet?
said
No.
that to Elite.
Have you got more topics, Red?
Did you see the Rise tweet? The Cryotech just asked like about Rise, and
We
then
covered that last year.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
did
We
we
can
do
cover
that?
that quickly if you want. I thought we'd done it last week. We keep
Oh, you
doing these
probably
things where we
have.
just keep-
I'm half dead. I've had the craziest busy week of my life at work, so I'm half dead.
Yeah, okay.
No, we
All
can
right.
get onto the meat and potatoes that everyone wants to talk about. Yeah, let's go.
We all like meat and potatoes, don't we, Jen? So, let's do it. So the news is, don't know if you guys have kept up with Twitter. I don't know if anyone on here is on Twitter or just in the media
I've never
circles.
played a game at 60
Red-
FPS. Yeah.
Redfall is launching now. The news is, word on the street is, Redfall's launching on Xbox consoles with quality mode only 4K 30 FPS.
No.
I know, no, bitch. And the 60 FPS mode will be added at a later date. My cat's having a go at me now.
That's because he wants to play at 60.
Doing. Yeah. So Redfall 30 FPS. Well, basically, the bottom line is Redfall 30 FPS. Will this affect
Your
you?
cat, man.
I know.
He's like, don't
Even
talk
the
about
cat is
this.
mad.
Shut up.
Even the cat is mad.
I'm gonna go.
Even the cat is
I'm
pissed.
gonna go. Yeah.
Oh,
You
dear.
guys, you guys. just
That's the
run
loudest
topic
pussy
while-
I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Wow. Way to kill the conversation.
Just no one had something to say.
Oh man.
You gotta love Elite, man. You gotta love him.
Oh.
Oh, I'm dead. Mm.
Anyway,
All right, Jen,
Redfall.
What do you
Let's-
say about
let's
this?
get back.
Let's go.
So when this news dropped, I could not wait to get on Twitter and see all the fallout from it. I can't like believe the uproar. But then saying that, I completely understand it, because Redfall has had a really crazy marketing cycle, hasn't it, up until now? So, I mean, I'm hyped for Redfall. I don't give two shits about what FPS it is. I will still play it. I'm generally not a fan of shooters anyway. I'm more of a swords, stabby, magic kind of girl. So what FPS a shooter is doesn't even register with me. But I can see why people are angry about this. So with Redfall, we've already had this fallout about it maybe being on PlayStation and then cancelled. Then we've had all the previews have come out and they're all in 60 FPS. So that's what people have come to expect. We've had the always online controversy as well. And it's just been one thing after the other with this game. And then finally, the nail in the coffin is that, oh, when it releases, we're only doing 30 FPS. And you just knew the community wasn't going to take this well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been this outcry of they should have delayed it until it was available in performance mode. I personally don't know if that would be the right decision. I think yet another delay would be a worse announcement. I think they have just chosen the lesser of two evils with this and gone with releasing it as it is.
When do you release it in this year that's so chock full of games, eh? So
Exactly.
I think they have no
if
choice.
they release it any later, it's gonna chop into that whole like Diablo release. Any later than that, Starfield, they definitely don't want to clash with that. I don't see what choice they had. I just wish they had been a bit more open with the marketing of it. Do not show previews that are 60 FPS when you're not releasing it to that standard on Xbox, because Xbox players then feel like second-class citizens to PC players. That's not the message that you want to send. So I can completely understand why people are raging about this. Like, personally, it doesn't affect me, but it's just a long list of disappointments from Xbox this year. Then it's just the final nail in the coffin that's like kicked people off.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you guys think?
Who wants to
Legal.
Yeah, legal.
I want to hear from you.
Uh-oh.
So,
Go on, Legal. What you got to say?
All right. Let me put on my Xbox shirt.
Okay.
Let me put on my Xbox hoodie and my hat, because you know I'm an Xbox fan. Let me put on let me turn my Xbox on. Oh, wait a minute. My Xbox was off. Let me turn it on.
We're all
Okay.
Xbox fans. As painful as it is sometimes, we all are.
Yes,
That's
yes,
why
yes.
You can criticise them. It's
Oh,
fine
yes. It's so
to criticise
painful.
them. We want better. So yeah, go for
Right. It is so painful, right? It is so painful.
it.
So here's my take on it, okay? All right. It's a lot of factors going into this. All right. We know that Redfall previously was being created on multiple platforms until Microsoft bought the game. All right. So if this game was based on online only, right?
Mhm.
And this game was coming out on PlayStation. Here comes my joke. It doesn't surprise me that the game is coming out at 30 frames per second. That was my joke. Now, let's be honest here. When it comes to Xbox, right? We have a standard. We, as a community, uphold our standard. It's the reason why when we chant next generation, we can truly say next generation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us who are not true next generation don't need to really be faking it. But that's what social media is about. Social media gives us the place where we can fake it. I'm not faking it. I have a C2 OLED, all right, that I bought last year at Black Friday. Why did I do that? Because Microsoft made a deal with LG, and Microsoft partnership with LG is for next gen gaming on the Series X, which I have both. I have the X. You know how people like to talk about how many consoles they have. So let me say that too, to justify how much I love Xbox. I have an
Yeah.
Xbox Series X and I have an Xbox Series S. The only reason I said that's for the enthusiasts that love to claim they got to justify they're a gamer. Okay, that's the only reason I said that. Now that we got past that, the standard for X, there shouldn't be, my opinion, there shouldn't be there shouldn't be a quality mode on Xbox. It makes saying quality mode on Xbox right now makes no sense because the standard is 4K 60. For all those that don't know what quality mode for next gen is, that's what it is. 4K 60.
Yeah, if you've bought a next gen console, that is what you expect as a base.
That's your
performance.
standard.
Yeah.
Right. That's your standard for the X. For the X.
Mm-hmm.
For the S, your standard is your highest standard is 1440p 60.
Mm-hmm.
That's quality mode. Right? Now, there's a lot of stuff that I was going to talk about too. I'm shadow dropping. So I don't want to take up too much time. But everybody knows that you can get a 4K TV for low these days. I mean, I know people we have different budgets. I get it. My considered low would be what, 400 to 800. Let's just put it like that. 400 to 800. If you can get a good deal, I don't know what size you like. I'm talking about at least 55 inches to 65 inches, okay? Depending on your brand, 400 to 800.
How about that size?
That's 4K 60. That's 4K 60, right? That gets you in the game. That's not what next gen gaming is marketed, right? Next gen game is HDMI 2.1. We all know this. So what is HDMI 2.1? That is 4K 120 and up. The difference between that and 4K 60 is 800 to 900 or even 1,000 more, depending on the size of your screen. So bigger is better. That's my joke. You have a true next gen TV, but all ports are 2.1s, right? OLED, whatever you want, it's gonna cost you a pretty penny. Everybody don't have that type of money to just spend on a TV. Get it? So performance mode on Xbox should always be 4K 120. That's our performance mode, not 4K 60. That's the standard. So this is from Microsoft. This is me as an Xbox fan. I'm not one of these dudes or girls out here, right? Who claim neutral, no. I'm an Xbox fan. So when I speak, I'm speaking genuinely and sincerely as an Xbox fan to Microsoft on the Gamers Initiative podcast. Quality mode should be a given. We shouldn't even say quality mode when it comes to Xbox. This ain't PlayStation 5. Because quality mode on PlayStation 5 is 4K 60 because their standard is 4K 30. We got the games to back it up. All right?
Yeah.
So, the difference between 60 and 120 is an easy $1,000. That's the gap, people. So this ain't funny. When you got people like me who believe in power my dreams, right? Power your dreams. I did everything I was told to do. I was even told to wait. Wait, legal, wait. Don't get one yet. Okay, I waited. There's some people who didn't wait, right? There's some people day one went on out and was already at 120. They already did it. It's those people who are frustrated because those are the ones who went out and spent that money. That's
Those
what I'm trying to get
people are still
people to
waiting
understand.
for something that really showcases this tech that we've got. We haven't had that game yet. We may be
That's
waiting
correct.
months.
We haven't
that
had,
game to come.
but that's a whole nother story. Look, Red Dead Panda, there's a lot of people that don't even understand that. I'm not even going to get it. I'm going to talk about that later.
Jen, it's fine.
I mean, Jen, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. It's the
Practically
sound
the
the
same
same, man.
person, Jen. It's fine.
Right. No, but Jen is
Australia,
right.
Birmingham, it's all good.
New Zealand,
No.
Jen. New
New Zealand.
Zealand.
I know
Just
y'all gonna
as
get-
bad,
no,
Jen.
no,
Just
Jen
as
is
bad
right.
as
Yeah, yeah.
Just as bad,
Oh
sorry.
man. No, look, Jen is right. Jen is right. That's a whole nother topic, right? That's a whole
Yeah.
nother topic.
Absolutely.
But you are exactly right. And the thing is, people don't understand. We're not saying it for a gimmick. We paid for this dream, so we're not talking from a place where, oh, I just want to rattle somebody on social media today, or I just want to get a kick out of it. Nah, I'm letting Microsoft know, man, this was a no-no. If you knew the game was going to be 4K 30, who gave it the okay to put that out there? That was downgrading. That was downgrading Xbox. That wasn't uplifting it. Think about that.
Yeah.
That didn't even rub off as normal. That wasn't even a normal tweet. We wasn't hearing that. Nobody was hearing that. Because Xbox truly has a standard.
Well,
And what it's going to do, people, I'm not talking about just to anybody who made a tweet about it. Now, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the ones who are genuinely making posts. You guys, right, are going to be the reason why this game is going to end up great. That's why I was trying to tell people that I know. Don't put too much stock. Don't talk a lot. Because the impact is already being felt. Microsoft is going to make the adjustments. Let the people talk. What do we expect? Those people that don't like Xbox are going to talk. They built empires off of talking about Xbox. You can't build an empire talking. PlayStation is boring. If you think I'm lying, go to PlayStation. Go to PlayStation channels. Guess what they're talking about? Xbox. There you go. Ain't nothing to talk about with PlayStation. It never has been like that. They don't have a community, so they don't even know how to talk about their console. Outside of console sales, they have nothing to talk about. And I'm just being honest. I'm just being as sincere as I could possibly
they
be.
made their bread
That's
and
not
butter
even a
off
lie.
trashing Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, that's the normal thing to do. So
We're just giving
That's
them
my
fuel
take
at this
on it.
point now. But we are well equipped enough to criticise Xbox ourselves.
that's right.
I think that's why we're better at this. I feel like Xbox fans are more balanced. We can criticise Xbox when they misstep,
Yeah.
and they have at this point, and we are begging them to be better. Whereas I honestly feel like Sony fans just make excuses for PlayStation missteps.
Well,
Whereas we can be more realistic. It doesn't stop me being an Xbox fan, but I
Right.
do expect them to perform better. And
That's right.
it's 2023 now, and we are still waiting for them to bring more to the table than they have been.
and I mean, like Aaron
That's right.
Greenberg, when did he make that tweet about you should expect the norm from games releasing on our platform to be 60 FPS?
Yeah, he said that in 2020. He said
Yeah.
it's the standard.
And then for this to
Right.
not have it, and I understand that there's probably some development issues and they've had to change the scope on the game and because of the feedback
That's right.
they've heard from the community and such, but this should have been a priority. Like I upgraded my my TV when the One X came out, or prior to the One X coming out, because I wanted to be ready for 4K, because I was like, yeah, 4K, sweet. So my TV could do 4K 60, which was grand. And then
Yeah, that's right.
my sister's TV upstairs died, so I gave her mine and I put them in the main family room, and then I was like, you know what, I was planning on upgrading my TV anyway. I wasn't going to do it yet until there were more games that were taking advantage of the feature sets in the Series X, but I ended up upgrading to an OLED C1, and I've had it just over a year now and I love it. But part of that problem
Right.
is I got so used to playing 60 FPS. I'm now used to playing like some of my games at 120 FPS. That going back to 30 for me as a consumer,
There
like
you go.
because I play games,
Speak on
I
it.
can't go back and play 30. It literally makes me feel motion sick. I just can't do it. It's sad, and so I'm not gonna, I guess, play it day one in the sense of play it day one. I'm gonna install the game, have a look at it, like what it looks like, but I'm gonna put it aside until the patch comes out for it, because I won't be able to play it unless they have that 40 FPS VRR mode sort of thing, like Plague's Tale did a Requiem when it launched. So if you had a 120 FPS monitor, you could get up to 40 FPS, and then what made it a little bit nicer was the VRR.
Yep.
So it made it a little bit more manageable. I know, like, and they set that expectation like 60 FPS, so everyone would have made the assumption that you're going to be playing with your friends, you want to be playing at 60. A lot of Microsoft multiplayer games are where you're playing with your friends. They prioritize frame rate, like Halo prioritizing frame rate. You can play 120 FPS if you want. Like, so I guess they really dropped the ball. It is a massive L, and you are right. We are, as a community, capable of calling Microsoft out on this. They're listening to us. Like, they've been listening, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, they've listened to us about the dashboard. They've pulled all the preview versions that they've got the people in the Xbox preview program testing, and they're going to work on that and then deliver us a new version of the Xbox home screen so you can see your backgrounds. The tiles take up too much room. They're listening to us. They obviously knew that they were going to get a lot of backlash, I think, on this front, and it's nice that they're saying, like, we realize it's a priority, there is a patch coming, but the expectation is a lot of us who are now used to playing at higher frame rates, quality, like visuals, I guess 4K isn't as big a deal as, can I play the game smoothly? Is it going to impact how I like to choose to play games? Now, I myself am a console gamer. I don't want to buy a PC to play games. Like, the only type of games I play on PC are RTS games. That's how I prefer to use a mouse and keyboard. Other than that, I don't want to have to go and get a PC just so I can make sure that I am getting the experience that I want. I would like the ease of access to be through my Xbox and just prioritize frame rate. That's what I would prefer. But it's hard, and I'm like, want Redfall to do really well. I think people are still going to go and play it because it's on Game Pass, regardless of it having a 30 FPS mode. I just feel like it's not going to be as, I guess, prominent or as successful at the start of its launch as a result of it not having the 60 FPS mode, which is a massive L. If you're really wanting to start off the generation going, this is a game that's only next gen only, you really need to kind of launch that and put your best foot forward. And I feel like they've kind of dropped the ball in that front, in my respect. Yeah.
I don't think I don't think there's nothing else to say. You killed that. There's nothing else to say. Next topic.
I want to hear from everyone else, because I think Ashtray has a slightly different
question. Elite, we don't need to hear from you.
Yeah. What were you going to say,
you killed it.
What were you going to say?
As a real Xbox fan, there's nothing to talk about. I'm sorry, Ashtray. Go ahead.
No, you're all right, man. Legal, I got a question for you guys, you and Jen specifically. What about the Xbox guys that are against us Xbox guys telling Xbox to do better, or, you know, that we're going to hold out and wait till it's the 60 frames mode? What do you think about those guys that are like, nah, y'all are just, you know, against Xbox? You shouldn't be against Xbox. How do you feel about those people? Yeah.
I treat being Xbox fans as almost a kind of religious fanaticism, in my opinion, where Xbox can do no wrong. If you speak against Xbox, you must be a Sony fanboy. I mean, this is the theme on Twitter. You cannot have a balanced opinion. You must be in one camp or the other. There's no in between. And it's even, you could compare it to being a Democrat or conservative. I don't have any respect for those kind of people. I just think if you see shit, you need to call it out. It doesn't matter if it's someone that you're a fan of. It doesn't mean that I love Xbox any less. I'm still going to be an Xbox fan. That's my preferred platform. But I'm not so blindsided by my fangirlism, as you call it, as to not call out when they're, you know, doing bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Legal?
I think, once again, you said the right thing. And I just want to say this. we see it's so easy, right? To go the what is it? Like what lightning does, it finds the lowest resistance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the lowest resistance to this topic? Let's talk about the people who are actually complaining about an Xbox game, right?
They aren't Xbox
I don't really
gamers.
think it's the people who are complaining for better is the problem. I actually think it's the people who don't talk about things that are problems. And a lot of the ones that I hold blame to are these influencers, right? Because you can't put your bottom penny on them. They're institutionalized. They're not gonna tell you the truths of things because they're afraid they're gonna lose their handout, right? They're afraid they're gonna lose their review copy
Mm-hmm.
and I won't be able to, come up on a show and I'm not gonna be able to be invited to a studio, right? I don't pay no attention to them. If I'm looking to hear genuine attitudes about a video game, this is where I come. I come here to the normal consumer, the normal gamer who has the normal rational voice. All right?
Mm.
We're calling something out that's basically not acceptable.
Yeah.
Do we not? Because the way we're looking at it is this. Do we or do we not have next gen consoles?
We
Everybody
do.
will say yes. So what is the criteria for next gen consoles? We all know the criteria. All right. Just like Bubba Fett just said, all we're asking is what was expected when it was advertised.
Yep.
If we can't get that, what are we doing?
And for those,
It's
Sorry.
easy to come at us. That's what I'm saying. The lowest resistance is us. We get blamed for everything. We get blamed for being toxic. We get blamed for console wars. We get blamed for this and that. But that's not what I see. Look, what I see, a console war is not when somebody makes a post and a PlayStation fan comes up on my post and disagrees with what I say. That's not console warring. That's not console warring. That's just somebody who disagreed on my post, right? When I see some of these articles, when before I got on the show and I heard y'all say about Sony saying, legally, this is legal documents, right?
Mhm.
Legal talk, right? It was like, hey, we think the Xbox and the Nintendo Switch are inferior products to ours. That's console war. That's a console war.
Yep.
It doesn't, and that's a console war that's so blunt, it's ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's console war. But when we got a community, right? We got a society, right? That already prejudges somebody. Just because, see, we are judged by what an influencer is not saying, or what an influencer is saying, or what an article is saying, or what they're not saying. You get judged by that. So if everybody else isn't saying it, then how dare you say it? That's wildebeest mentality.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you can have 1,000,000 wildebeest, right? Guess what it takes to move 1,000,000 wildebeest? One lion. Now, does a lion need to be defended? Of course not. Defend itself. Does a grizzly bear need defending? Of course not. It can defend itself. But you can have 1,000,000 wildebeest and they all scared. That's our community. Can you imagine the impact if we actually had real people, real gamers who can put aside, right? See, our problem is I don't mind the jib and jabs, right? I don't mind it. I'm on social media. What am I expecting? I get it. But when it's time to actually be real, let's be real. Call it out. And I'm not talking about any other platform, because the other platforms are going to see why we are Xbox fans. Because Microsoft is going to listen to its fans.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to jump in here.
Jump
Hello.
in.
Hello.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think there's several points to this. Firstly, I think a lot of people are attacking Xbox gamers, and I mentioned it briefly because Fritanga said about Xbox gamers defending this, and I said to him, I think you agreed when you read. I said I don't think it's so much Xbox gamers defending this. I think they're more like calling out the hypocrisy from PlayStation gamers that said 30 FPS is better than 60 FPS, which they literally did.
We're not defending
said-
it. Those who are defending it
No.
are not proper.
Yeah.
They're just.
And I think people always confusing me defending it by calling out PlayStation. I'm not defending it because I think it should be 60 FPS, and I'm not. And there is a bit of misleading on Xbox's part by promoting it at 60 FPS, which they sort of have done. So I think that needs to be addressed there. Will I play the game? Yes, I'll definitely play the game still. 30 FPS, 60 FPS. I've lived my life for 30 FPS, so it's not going to make any difference. I'm going to play it still, and then play it again, or whatever. It'll probably be continuing still playing it when it switches to 60 FPS. I don't think it'll take as long as sort of Alex suggests. But as regards to, I think I think it's mainly down to, I think there's a lot of questions. Bethesda, at the end of the day, is Bethesda being pushed? Because when you look at PlayStation, Insomniac right now are carrying PlayStation with Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man this year, Wolverine next year. Is Bethesda at the moment now just carrying Xbox? Are they being pushed too hard now? Do you think that's the issue? Because they just released Hi-Fi Rush is under one of their studios, isn't it? And then you got Ghostwire Tokyo, you got Deathloop.
Oh yay, my avatar's up!
Yay!
Yay!
They got Deathloop. They got Ghostwire Tokyo, and now they got this, and then they've got Starfield also. Do you think maybe possibly they're being pushed, they're being stretched too much, as that could be the outcome of it? I'm not sure if the working from home is a feasible excuse, to be honest.
I think. I
think it's still a factor, to be honest with you, man. But my understanding is that they've always used the Void engine, and this time they're making REDFALL on UE4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
And they don't know UE4.
No, I think that's the
Bingo.
Yeah,
and they're struggling with it.
They should have got Coalition or someone to work with them on it. They did that.
Well,
their engine. And they must have been. Yeah,
that's a great point. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And apparently, Microsoft have this ninja team that can go out and help. Well, how come they're not helping? Where have they been?
Maybe
so
Bethesda
Or why weren't
asked
they
for
called
help.
in? Why weren't they called in earlier to assist with the project?
Maybe they're
Yes,
still
there must have
running
been
the way
an
they
issue.
used to run, which was autonomously in the sense of they're used to just doing whatever they do within their studios. And maybe that's just like they didn't ask for help. That could be.
I don't think that's the
problem.
case because Coalition been working with Epic.
Coalition though
Epic,
is a
they?
first party
Coalition,
studio. Coalition
Yeah.
is just that's what they're doing. But I think
It's Coalition and
And remember, that's Black Tusk.
Undead Labs. Undead Labs also very good at engine as well, apparently, and they've been working it both.
yeah, but
The
And then
point is,
Ninja Theory really
there's-
good at the mocap.
There's
learning curve.
capabilities there to assist Red.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
You know, what's management doing? They were going to release this game in November or even earlier,
Yeah, well,
and it still can't release with
Why-
with a 60 frames
why
mode.
isn't why aren't they double checking what these guys are doing? Like I feel like Matt Booty's job is too big for just one person alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%
But
something like that.
Bethesda will have their own people within their studio
Well,
to
that's
help
the
with
thing,
all
isn't
that.
it?
Yeah.
Bethesda, when they bought Bethesda, they said Bethesda are going to work under themselves, didn't they? And I wonder if
Yeah,
that's the
but,
mistake. I
you
wonder
know-
if they've just literally left them to be Bethesda, and
That's
it's
right.
Bethesda fucking up, not Xbox. And
But you
they
know,
sort of
like
said-
we're talking about a shooter,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So why would a shooter even be 30 frames per second on Xbox when we're the shooter's box?
yeah, but that's another question as well. But everyone's referring to it as an FPS. I wouldn't class this game as an FPS personally. I
It
wouldn't.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No,
a,
It
that's
is.
right.
It is though.
It still
It-
is.
It is.
Is it?
I know what he's saying.
Would you class
Ashtray, it's
Borderlands
not.
as
It's
an
not a
FPS?
Call of Duty, right? It's not Halo, right?
Or Left 4 Dead.
But-
Would you class them as FPS games?
Your first person shooting, yeah, because they have
Right.
Everyone has said that
It's a first
The
person
end of the
shooter.
game, yeah, of course.
Right.
it's your,
It's a
It's
first
just
person
not a
shooter.
single player version. It's a multiplayer or co-op
Well, that-
version.
Right.
You're
that is
still
the other.
you're not in third person view. You're in
Right.
first person view. Hence the name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
that's
so
what
I
it
get
really
the-
is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll
Right.
get the definition of first person shooter, but you can't.
you?
You can't. But then you can't compare it as people are doing. Like Fortnite runs at 60 FPS. You can't then compare it with
That's third person.
a third person. I mean, Call of Duty, Destiny, and stuff like that. Which Destiny 2 launched at 30 FPS.
I guess
You can't.
you're botting Elite. I guess my biggest issue, you're cutting out, I can't hear you. Can anyone else hear him? Or have I lost audio? Even legal, I can't. Oh, 1 second, it might be my end. Give me 1 moment, guys.
All of a sudden they say, man, we're gonna bail out on Elite, and they leave
Hello?
the game.
I can hear again.
Can you hear me?
I can hear again.
Yeah, it died.
Discord
Oh, it
completely
died?
just crapped itself.
Yeah, it died.
Discord just
Pretty
crapped
There was-
Oh, you
awesome.
lost everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no sound. There was nothing.
Yeah, it started with
Wow.
Elite talking, and then I
I
couldn't
can
hear
still
you.
hear him.
I couldn't. Astray and I couldn't hear you
I
guys.
can hear me.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Can the chat hear us now?
I
My
heard y'all.
ping was at 5,000. Now it's back
wow.
down to
I completely.
300.
Mine was this.
It
Mine
shows
went
it's
red,
excellent.
and then it had no connection, and then it kept trying to reconnect. So I just completely closed
Wow.
out of Discord and reopened it back up, and it's back. Don't know what
Yep.
happened, guys.
The connection shows excellent on mine.
It's
Oh,
now. Yeah,
weird.
but this. I think it was because we're all from all over the world, so it's probably why.
Yeah.
Worldwide, baby.
You're all in the
Audio
jungle,
is
eh?
back. There we go.
I just want to return to my point that I think people are unfairly comparing this as the FPS and then just putting FPS as one just genre. I don't think you can do that because
Well, it's not a
you've got
competitive FPS shooter. It's not
No,
a competitive.
exactly.
Right. That's
and
what
then
I was
you,
saying.
and then you've got your competitive like Destiny, which Destiny 2 launched at 30 FPS. But this is larger scale even as Destiny. Even though Destiny is a MMO in brackets, Destiny is broken up into very small sections and it's very linear. The game is very linear. This is more like your Borderlands. This is an FPS, but in your size of Borderlands, with a
Right.
campaign built into it as well, with
Right.
dialogue and everything. It's pretty much like an FPS Skyrim, and I think that's what I think they're probably going to struggle with. I'm not making
A
excuses
looter
for them.
shooter. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a looter shooter, but it's got a massive campaign with dialogue, with customization.
We-
with
we
all
have
that,
to put it
which
in
you
its
expect from
proper
a Bethesda
context.
game as well. Yeah.
But I mean,
And I think
Right.
that's why you got. But they'll put into excuses. But I can see why. I think where the argument is, why is this not like a your Call of Duties or someone said Warzone? Well, because it's bigger than Warzone. Warzone don't even have a campaign in it.
but those who
You know what I mean?
those who aren't really gamers and calling out the hardware and going it's the hardware's fault or it's,
Yeah, it's like-
they've-
that's
or
like-
they're calling out saying it's the Series S holding it back, and I'm like, Red Dead Redemption 2 came out on the last gen consoles. I'm pretty sure
Right.
that we can get this game running on the Series S. Like, there'll be no issue. Like, you can also use cloud to help in that space if you need to. If
Yeah.
you want to do that and use the online feature of that. But my biggest concern with this is just, like, if you have a consumer base and you say you're putting the gamer at the center of it, and you say that we're going to be servicing our consumers, some of your consumers play games at 30 FPS, and some of them are playing it at 60. And as a result, you are impacting how gamers choose to engage with those games on your service, because you haven't made you aren't servicing them properly in that respect. You're only servicing part of them by releasing this game without the 60 FPS mode. I'm glad they're working on the patch. They know how important it is, and they've probably been like, we've been ripped a new one by the Xbox community, because I feel like they have. But yeah, that's the issue. It's like, if you're going to look after us, you should be servicing the whole community, and that means targeting those who want to play at 60. And it just feels like with the game being delayed, that's what it should have been focusing on, the optimization of that. I feel like some of the scope of what they were doing in the game might have changed. They've got to recode some of these things to implement stuff, because it probably started on a different engine. They might have ported it over, who knows. We don't know enough about what's been happening behind the scenes, but you should be able
apparently Red
to deliver a better
they were going to port it to UE5.
UE5, yep.
Yeah.
But they can't do it at this stage.
Yeah, I just want to finish my point. I was just going to say that, you know, if we're classifying this as an FPS, then I think it will be the biggest FPS of the generation. I mean, people are going to say, oh, because it's a massive game. I say, oh, Battlefield, but Battlefield, they've pulled out the campaign. Battlefield no longer has a campaign in it. It's just purely just a shooter now. I think this will be, if you're going to put it in the classification of FPS, then it will be the biggest FPS we'll ever see. But I wouldn't class it as a pure FPS. But I think, yeah, the major factors in it are they've switched engines, which they probably shouldn't do. But people were crying, saying Skyrim's an old engine, yada yada yada. But then there's the flip note. I don't want to defend them because it should be 60 FPS. Xbox need to get their shit in hand, and they need to sort of. Needs to be some management in there that says before we start advertising this, promoting this, saying this shit, we need to make sure it's on the level before we start talking stuff. And I don't think there's anyone that's standing in for Bethesda doing that. I don't think.
Yeah.
And as you said, they're standalone at the moment.
I know it's bringing up
moving
concerns
that
with the community about what Starfield going to release at.
Yeah, I reckon it will be 30 FPS Starfield.
I hope they do some sort of 40 frames unlocked. Something. They need something for it. And then, because I will say this, I probably will hold off on Starfield if I don't have a 60 FPS mode. Because again, like I said, getting used to 60 and 120 FPS and then going back to 30, honestly, it's like playing VR for me. I get motion sick. I just can't do it anymore. Sad because it's destroyed my ability to play any game that releases at any frame rate and just enjoy that enjoyment. But that's me, and that's how I choose to play as a gamer now. Yeah.
No, it's because you're right. You're where you need to be. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of this, right? So I get it, right? It's an FPS open world adventure game, and it's non-linear. So like Ashtray was saying, that is demanding. We get that. We're not making no excuses. But when you actually play this game as a 4-player co-op, you have a vampire that you need to destroy. You're not gonna be way over there across the board, one person way over there on the other side. Over there, you all have a mission, and y'all's mission is to be close together in an area, at least in a perimeter of this vampire. And you're trying to kill this vampire. So it's not like, you know, you're shooting. It's not Battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Where you're way over there, and I can shoot clear across the board and all this other stuff. And the game is having to, you know, showcase me on my screen where I'm at. I can't really see you because you're way far away, but on your screen you see where you're at. It's not that type of a game. But the beauty of it is it's open world, it's non-linear. You can go anywhere you want to go. But this is an online game. So the beauty of an online game on Microsoft works drastically different. Why isn't this game utilizing, right, the technologies? If this game, like I'm saying, it's a next gen only game, right? It's not a cross gen game.
Yeah.
Okay. They bumped it up to $70. So what I'm saying is, if you bumped it up to $70, you call it a next gen game. It's only this gen only. Series X, Series S. Where does it make sense to have it at 4K 30 then? How does a 4K 30 game be $70? I'm trying to that's where the realness sits in at. Like, okay, I get the aspects of the game, like Ashtray was saying. Yo, the vision of this game is groundbreaking, no doubt. But Microsoft has the technology.
Mm.
So what are we using? What technology are we using? You know,
Yeah.
what we don't have. They're not explaining things. So what I heard is that they're gonna come out and explain things. The beauty of it, here's the only thing that I can say. The beauty of this thing is that we are gonna get that 60. And you know what's gonna be funny, y'all? When we do get that 60, name us another game that's gonna be doing like this. You show me any game that's doing like this, period, on any console.
Because what did Gotham Knights launch with? Was it 30 FPS mode?
You will not see
30.
another game
Yeah,
like
30.
this.
Yeah, Gotham Knights launched at 30. Unacceptable.
Right. There was no exactly. And that was just co-op.
It's just sad.
Yeah, apparently that build was CPU heavy, which is terrible.
Right,
They
it-
need to learn how to balance out the
I mean-
They
CPU,
didn't know how to balance it
GPU.
out.
That's what the
So-
whole
Something-
decompression was for. The decompression software, the BC Pact, all of that is meant to aid in this, to take some of the load off certain things in there and make the games run more efficiently. But like, I don't even think they're using the multi-threading yet in the games at this point. I think only ones that are being built specifically next gen only from the start will actually be using taking advantage of the multi-threading in the CPUs.
Potentially, yeah. But I mean, what are these dev kits doing? They're supposed to assist and help make these games work on the Xbox consoles. That's why they're there. You know, we need someone that can have access to these Xbox guys and say, what is this dev kit actually doing? How come it's not assisting with these guys? They're making the games on PC, sure. They're using whatever engines, sure. What's the issue here? Why aren't they using these features? Why aren't they
Ladies and
optimizing
gentlemen,
them?
That's right, Ashtray. Ladies and gentlemen, when I have these gaming discussions and I'm not on a podcast, right? There's people who come up with some brilliant thinking. Here we are. This is how you know that this stuff has to be set up. It's just set up because it's like Ashtray saying, this stuff is silly when you think about it. Like, everybody's not silly all the time. Some people know how to balance out the wins and whys and hows, right? We know when there's a season to be silly. There's a time for everything, right? This isn't the time, right? We're actually looking for actual reasoning. We have to, this is what we got. I just want people to really think about this. This is what we got. We got Digital Foundry. That's what we got as Xbox fans. Like, I want people to understand this. I want you to really just think about this. Let this sink in. We put our money towards one of the most gigantic technological companies in the world. And we got Digital Foundry to go to about our video games. Ashtray, you can't make this up, right? So when I'm talking to some of these Xbox guys and they say, you know, why doesn't Xbox have a team? Like Ashtray was just saying, it goes in, infiltrates these games. It would be a great podcast, right? We would learn so much. You know, the Jason Ronalds, where's his team? You know, we would love to sit here and listen what this guy or his team got to say about every Xbox game. Nobody else on the outside world can pinpoint it. And it'll knock out all the BS. Because, hey, man, these are the guys from Xbox. They know what they're talking about. They put these testers on these games. They can tell us the frame rate, tell us everything. We don't have to sit up here and try to wonder if anybody's lying to us. Because let's be honest, Digital Foundry has struck out too many times to take them serious. Too many times. So it's like, yo, I don't understand why it's just like, it just seems like when it comes to Xbox, we're talking Microsoft and we're dumbfounded. And we all should be dumbfounded. Because we're talking about one of the most technological companies in the world. And they putting out a game at 4K 30. It's embarrassing. It's not, we're lost to words, really. It's crazy.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, if Microsoft could end all this BS, and there really wouldn't be an industry then, right? I guess it really wouldn't be an industry. If Microsoft really felt serious, it wouldn't be no gaming industry. You see this right now with Sony, got them crying, bro. Sony did all this talking for 25 years. And when Big Bank started to show itself, now we see all of a sudden Sony crying. So to all you PlayStation fans out there, you are seeing that Sony never wanted competition. They never wanted to be in the playoffs. They just wanted to play all 82 games. They didn't want to be in the playoffs. They wanted to be in the playoffs, but they didn't want to go to the finals. They didn't want to win no championship. Just want you to think they did. They'll win all these trophies that don't mean nothing. MVP, scoring title, all defensive player of the year, but no rings. They didn't want to compete. Now there's only one competitor. It's not Nintendo. Nintendo ain't already trying to compete, bro.
They're doing their own thing.
Microsoft's the only gaming company that's out here competing with Sony. We know the industry is full of Sony fans. That is not even the slightest mystery anymore. Everything. Even in the CMA, you saw Donkey come out in the CMA. I was like, damn, they're everywhere. You got a guy in the CMA making a vow to the PlayStation community. Don't worry. We're going to do whatever we got to do for PlayStation. I'm like, God dang. Even in the CMA, even in the legal offices, we got them?
Yeah, even patent offices.
Right, you're everywhere.
Encouraging console.
Right. Yeah. Right. We're everywhere. So my question has always been, where do we go? We no longer have our gaming magazine. See, those guys, I credit those guys in the UK, Elite and Ashtray. Y'all had some warriors, man. They was with us for 20 years. When I found out that they wasn't working for Microsoft, that blew my mind away. I was like, what? How do you have a group of guys making awesome Xbox magazine, even interviewing you guys, right? After 20, okay, I want y'all to really think about this. This is how silly it is. We got YouTubers today that did not break the mold until after 15 years on YouTube. They never started out on Xbox. But after 15 or 13 years on YouTube, Microsoft decides to give these folks the chair. Okay, come on over, You've been on here for 13 years, Got a few followers. We see your name. That's the PR. But you mean to tell me y'all let a gaming magazine that has represented y'all to the fullest for 20 years sink in the ocean? Telling y'all, man, I don't know, bro. But let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something about legal, if you don't know. I know EliteGamingGuru knows this about me.
I know.
Let me tell y'all something about me. I'm just fine being out in the desert all by myself. Because when I tell y'all I've been doing this, I mean what I say. I ain't start just doing this because social media came around my way and let me get on social media now and start talking. I can see right through people like that. You can see in their text that they're just saying this because they're on social media. But GamingGuru, they don't realize there can be 1,000 donkeys on social media with me. They're not gonna falter me. They can't do anything with their words to me. I know Xbox. I know it. I'm not just a fan of it. I study Xbox. I've done this stuff. You can't get me with emotions. You can't get me. I live this stuff. This ain't something that I just woke up to. I know what's going on out here. So it's either we gonna be real about it or we're not. Let's just be honest as a gaming community. We got too many talkers out here and not enough doers. That's the number one problem. Everybody likes to talk, right? Yeah. Everybody does. But we're not doing anything to better the community. When things go wrong, guess who they pointing at? Jen. They point at Red Dead Panda. They point at the New Legal. They point at EliteGamingGuru. They point at AshtreyGaming. Why? Because we're the easiest. We're the easiest to point at. But we're not. But when it comes to these people that big influencers, they supposed to get a pass. Oh, don't mind them. When you get somebody that, when you lie, the lie don't start when everybody found out you lied. You lied to yourself. You knew before you opened up your mouth you was gonna tell a lie. Children are the greatest examples of that.
Well, I was about to say the biggest. We know the biggest and the best community is Xbox. We are the biggest and best and most honest community. So I think it ends there. I think we're going to round it up now, though. I think it's getting late here. It's it's 1:20 in the morning here in the UK. 1:20 in the morning.
We've been
Yeah,
going
so,
for a while.
yeah.
We've been going for a while. It's been a
Yeah.
long show, guys, and thank you for sticking around. Yeah.
So thanks I guess again. Jen, are you there? Big Jenny.
I
please?
sure am.
You sure am, Jenny Pooh. Thank you. Where-
Don't ever call me that again.
I was just gonna
Never
say,
again.
never again.
Ever again.
where can we find you? Tell us. How do we find
Okay,
you?
so
What's
I
your
am on
address?
Twitter.
Later.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at GemBox360. The link to my articles on Windows Central is in my bio. If anyone wants to drop me a message or send me nudes, I am open. I would rather have
You're open.
an elite foot in my inbox, so go for it.
Anyone other than Elite, right? Anyone can
Kids.
send them through.
Basically, yeah, I just need to see less of Elite's anus.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I don't think what's wrong with it. What's wrong with it? I had a pile
You mean
once.
skin tag?
Yeah, I had a pile once. That's it. I don't know what's
Okay. Oh my god.
wrong with it. Remember everyone, Jen's open. Her words.
Noted. Legal.
Where can people
Good
find
to have you on, sir.
Yes, sir. You
Where
know
can
it,
everyone
brother.
find you, man? What have you
And
been playing?
where can we find your nudes?
Oh, they can find me on Xbox first, you know. New
He's
Legal,
bent
that's
over
my
a mirror
actual
right
name.
now.
Hey, Jen, friend me, Jen. I'm on the new. Yo, send me a message on Xbox. That's my gamer tag, the New Legal, spelled out correctly, folks.
Okay, yeah, will do.
Yeah, careful, Eagle.
Salute to Jen. It's nice to meet you.
You too.
We need more people like you. The honesty, integrity. We need more female voices as well. So yeah, you know, it's cool. It's cool to
100%,
meet
yeah.
you. You can find me, like I said, on Xbox. You can find me on Twitter. The New Legal underscore. Y'all know, bro. Come on, you know, underscore. I could just do it, but you know. You can also find me on YouTube. If you don't know how I spell Direct Gaming, don't worry. Just type in my gamer tag. Type in the New Legal on YouTube and Direct Gaming will pop up. Because I just got magical skills like that. And you can find me running in my neighborhood. You can find me riding in my car down Highway 20. Sometimes I bump into Xbox fans and I tell them subscribe to Game Pass. Or what? Yeah, I go nude sometimes, Pyro, when I run down the street in my neighborhood. Sometimes, but that's at night. So, you know, that's at night. That's what I secretly call it, EliteGamingGuru. But he knows my darkest secrets, you know. But anyway,
It's very dark.
thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know, look, Elite knows how to get me. He gets me right after work. I'm sorry for being late. You know, black people are never on time. We're never on time. So if I'm not on time, I'm on time.
That's a true story, actually.
But I had a good time, and I enjoyed Red Dead Panda's facts. I really did. Thank you so much for spitting those facts. Shout out to the chat and all my Direct Gaming comrades. Thank y'all for coming over here supporting my guy today, man. For real. Y'all know Direct Gaming loves y'all. Y'all know that. So it's just love.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. Yeah. Love doing the show, Rick. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Ashtray, as per usual. And Elite, you know, I'll say thank you if I meant it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry,
Ow.
Elite. No, thank you. We're here every week as much as we can be. But yeah, it was a good show. Great show, guys. A shout out to the chat. Always fun engaging with you guys, and most of us play together anyway on Xbox. Yeah, it's been a good week.
I tried to join your party the other day, actually, Red, and it was closed. They wouldn't let me in.
She blocked you.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
why.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it wasn't my party, by the way. It was someone else's
Oh.
party. That was
Okay.
their invite only. Yeah,
I'll just take your word for it. Okay.
Yeah. my parties are usually always open.
Like Jen. Right, so
Let's get out of here, guys. Yeah.
Damn.
yeah.
All
So
right, guys.
thank you all for joining us. You know where we are. Hopefully back next week. Thank you the panel. Thank you to the panel. Please sub, share, and like everyone. And we'll hopefully see you next week. It's great to have you on. We had great comments, great chat today. Great topics, and see you next week.
Yeah,
Bye for
and
now.
if you enjoyed the show, just pop hashtag Sesame Street Elite in the chat. Yeah.
Or delete Elite.
Delete Elite, yeah, either option. Let us know that you enjoyed the show. Yeah. All right, we're out here, guys. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.